Guns, boats, campers, trailers, recreational vehicles, and just about everything else. Get a loan from Choice Pawn in Fulton and Tupelo. Get cash today. ChoicePawn.com.
This broadcast on Let'sGoICCTV.com is presented by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Food Giant, the Sonic of Fulton, your Etowah County Farm Bureau agent Joey Cox, the ICC BSU, Bank of Okolona, Legend Sports Grill, the ICC Wesley Foundation, Choice Pawn, Kegel Eye Center, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the ICC Alumni Association, and the ICC Foundation.
The new extra most bestest pizza from Little Caesars is topped with the most cheese and the most pepperoni for the nation's best price. And now for a secret message.
Surrender to the toppings.
Incredible! Extra most bestest, the most cheese and most pepperoni for just $6.
Pizza, pizza.
When I think of potential, I think of a matchstick. When a matchstick reaches its potential, it releases a flame that ignites everything around it. 2018 brings new potential for you and your life at Itawamba Community College, where you are each empowered to do great things. You can be better, accomplish more, and live a life that is above the bar. Your potential is here.
Need money now? Get a Choice Pawn loan on things you already own, like guns, boats, campers, trailers, recreational vehicles, and just about everything else. Get a loan from Choice Pawn in Fulton and Tupelo. Get cash today. ChoicePawn.com.
Good afternoon and Roll Tribe ICC family. Thank you for joining us for the Choice Pawn pregame show here on Let'sGoICCTV.com and our first baseball broadcast of the season on FM 95 Sports. Now the rivals are in town as your number 11 Indians get set to square off against Northeast in a pair of MACJC games this afternoon in Fulton. Just to catch you up for those that might be tuning in for the first time this season, ICC climbed as high as number 2 in the country before being swept by Pearl River this past Friday in Poplarville. The Indians come in with a record of 19-5 overall, 5-3 inside conference play. They're currently in 4th place inside the conference. Northeast, they grabbed a handful of momentum coming into today's series after rallying from a 9-5 deficit to earn a split with the defending national champion Jones County with an 11-10 game 2 win. The Tigers, they are 14-11 overall, 5-5 in the MACJC. That puts them right in the middle of the hunt behind Northwest and Jones County. They're in the chase for the final 8 spots or 9 spots in the playoffs. Now, of course, when we talk about the playoffs, the regular season champion is the MACJC champion, and Pearl River sits atop the conference at 8-0. Teams 2 through 5 will host teams 6 through 9 in a best-of-3 series to determine who will join the MACJC champion and LSU Eunice in the Region 23 tournament. Of course, that tournament this year is hosted by Eunice. Now, we'll take a look at some of the Bank of Okolona standings later in the broadcast, as well as try to bring you some scoreboard updates throughout the afternoon. When we come back with the Choice Pawn pregame show, we'll step inside Coach's Corner being served up by Little Caesars and talk with head coach Rick Collier about today's matchup with the Tigers right here on the ICC Sports Network.
Need money now? Get a Choice Pawn loan on things you already own, like guns, boats, campers, trailers, recreational vehicles, and just about everything else. Get a loan from Choice Pawn in Fulton and Tupelo. Get cash today. ChoicePawn.com.
So you took Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest pizza that has the most cheese and pepperoni at the nation's best price and then stuffed more cheese into the crust?
Yep, it's got 3 feet of cheese stuffed in the crust.
Huh.
They added more cheese to the pizza with the most cheese. They added more cheese to the pizza with the most cheese. They added more cheese to their pizza with
Poor
the
guy.
most cheese.
Couldn't wrap his mind around all that cheese.
They added.
Get a large Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest stuffed crust pepperoni pizza for $9.
Pizza, pizza.
Gotta be hoops and wings.
Nah, subs.
Wings all day.
How about a sub?
Dude, wings.
Nah.
Really?
Gotta have ice cold Coke.
I'll drink to that. Now that's how it's done.
And welcome back to the Choice Pawn pregame show, talking with Coach Rick Collier. Rick,
Big day, man. It's always a fun day when it's game day, but it's a little extra special when the rivals are in town.
Yes, the Northeast coming in, you can throw out the records, you can throw out everything. It's always a dogfight, and there's a lot of tension, and it's just a great atmosphere, competition. All the guys know one another, and they're getting after one another hard at the collegiate level.
All right, well, tell us about the Tigers, what you know about them.
They gonna swing the bats. They got some strong offense sitting there in the middle of their order. Top of the order, got some fast guys, and they play pretty good defense. They got some good pitching. They're sitting right there in the middle of the NECC standings. It's a big day for both of us.
Well, Rick, I know this has been I think the first time in 2 or 3 years that we've actually had them back here on campus. Expecting a full, just electric crowd this afternoon.
Yeah, there's a couple high school teams coming in to watch, and we all got recruits coming to watch, and we're having promotions here on campus. It's always a big crowd and great atmosphere. It's just going to be a fun day.
All right, let's take a look at game one. Who you got starting?
We're going with Austin King in game one. I've got everybody ready, playing on Good Friday of last week. Everybody's rested up, and I told Austin to go as long as he can, and he can stay out there as long as he wants to, but we could see 4 or 5 different guys. I like to change it up a lot like that, and it's been working.
All right, Rick, what does Austin bring to the mound, just pitching wise?
He's got a good fastball. He's going to sit 86, 89, touch a few 90s. Fastball's got some good run too, good life to it. His curveball's getting better each ball game. He's developing his changeup, and it's coming along well also, but his out pitch is his fastball.
All right, well, unfortunately, dropped 2 at Pearl River, a young baseball team. How have they been able to respond this week getting ready for Northeast?
We've had some good practices. And I'm not going to take anything away from Pearl River. They got a great team. They had overall the more pitching. They were bringing in a lot of guys, and we had our chances, and we didn't capitalize on our chances, and the guys know that, and it's baseball. You don't have to wait a week. It's time to go again. That's what we've been talking about this week.
And Rick, kind of lead me into that. What's your keys to victory? Of course, these keys to victory being brought to you by the ICC Wesley Foundation.
Well, we need some defense. We need to put a 0 on the scoreboard in the error column. I know I've said it a couple times, but defense has got to be there, and that's what I'm challenging my guys and what we've been talking about at practice.
Well, Rick, appreciate you taking time out to talk to us before the game. Let's go get 2 and win one for the Tribe.
Sounds good.
We'll be back with more of the Choice Pond pregame show right after this.
Helen, don't you know Little Caesars has the extra most bestest for $6?
$6? I gotta sit down.
Yeah, it has the most cheese and pepperoni for the nation's best price.
Most cheese and most pepperoni? I gotta sit all the way down.
Get the most cheese and most pepperoni for the nation's best price. Little Caesars large $6 extra most bestest.
Pizza. Need money now? Get a Choice Pawn loan on things you already own, like guns, boats, campers, trailers, recreational vehicles, and just about everything else. Get a loan from Choice Pawn in Fulton and Tupelo. Get cash today. ChoicePawn.com.
Welcome back to the Choice Pond pregame show, ladies and gentlemen. We take you to the field now for the playing of the National Anthem.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the National Anthem.
And welcome back as we put the closing moments on the Choice Pond pregame show here. We do want to say a special hello to all those listening on FM 95 Sports and FM95Radio.com. Remember, when you're away from your radio, you can still hear the hits of yesterday every day on FM95Radio.com. Let's take a look at an ICC Spotlight being presented to you by our friends over at Food Giant, and this ICC Spotlight shines on the ICC softball team. The Indians moved up to number 7 in the latest NJCAA rankings that came out yesterday. They had climbed as high as number 6 in the country, which was matching their program's highest ever ranking before dropping a pair of one-run decisions to number 2 Des Moines area out of Iowa during spring break. And then splitting on the road against Pearl River. The Indians currently in second place in the conference and are scheduled to travel to number 1's Jones County on Saturday, with a shot of taking over the number 1 spot in the conference with a pair of wins. But there's a strong chance of rain moving in, so that game could be moved to Sunday. You want to be sure and follow us on Twitter at Let's Go ICC and visit letsgoicc.com to stay update on any changes that may be made with softball or any other of our spring sports going on right now. So we do encourage you to come out and support the girls and enjoy a fun day of softball next time the Indians are in Fulton. Before we do that, though, we do encourage you that if you're in the listening area, still got plenty of time to make it out to the ballpark, because we've got 2 games coming your way this afternoon here in Fulton. Of course, Game 1 will be on FM 95 Sports. Game 2 only on Let'sGoICCTV.com. A great crowd filling in here as Austin King takes his warm-up tosses here for the Indians, and we're just moments away from that Renaissance Bank opening pitch as we put the brakes on the Choice Pond pregame show. Choice Pond, they've got a going out of business sale right now in Fulton. They're located at the T intersection, so you want to be sure and come in and check that one out. Austin King will be getting the start here for the Indians in Game 1. He's 4-0 on the year. He has a 3.33 ERA. He has struck out 21. So we're awaiting that Renaissance Bank opening pitch here in Game 1 from Austin King. And it's Parker Haberstraw who will be leading things off, and the opening pitch coming your way at 3:02. That's a 3:02 Renaissance Bank opening pitch. It's outside for a ball. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, RenaissanceBank.com. So 1-0 is the count here to Haberstraw, and that pitch missing outside as well. The Indians in their blue top, white pants. They've got the blue stirrups with the red and white stripes. Blue hats this afternoon. As the 2-0 pitch is up high, and Haberstraw is quickly ahead in the count here. He's the leadoff batter of the game. He's the shortstop. Jacob Wilshire and Tucker Childers due up here in the top of the first. We'll give you your Coca-Cola starting lineups. In between innings, that pitch across for a strike. But we anticipate a big crowd making their way out to the ballpark. Of course, we had a special giveaway. The first 50 students that came through the gate got a free T-shirt with the proof of their ID, or college ID, as Haberstraw takes that pitch high for a ball. So a leadoff walk there. And now up will be the DH, Jacob Wilshire. Wilshire is a freshman. He is DHing here in this game, batting impressive .458 on the year, .509 on base percentage, and an even more impressive .792 slugging percentage to lead the team. Stands in and takes that first pitch across for a strike. See, Dalton Milton of the Daily Journal is out today covering this game. You can read about today's games in tomorrow's Daily Journal. Ground ball right back up the middle. Little tailor-made double play. There's one, and there's two with a nice stretch. Take a look at that on the Little Caesars replay. And that's just what the doctor ordered there on that Little Caesars replay, or double play, I should say. Being brought to you by that Little Caesars instant replay. Hey, ICC fans, don't forget the fastest pizza in Itawamba County has just gotten faster. As you can order your pizza now thanks to the mobile app from Little Caesars. That pitch missing at the knees for a ball. This is Tucker Childers at the plate. All you got to do is download the app, as that's going to be a little flare down the line. This could go for extra bases for Childers, and it will. It'll be a double for the catcher. Oh boy, how big is that double play now? As that easily would have put a run on the board, but instead it just puts a man on second with 2 outs. And Tyler Samaniego, he'll be coming to the plate here after that little flare out to left field. But yeah, download the Little Caesars app, punch in your profile, all your information. You can order from home, walk in, tell them who you are, get your pizza, and get out. Doesn't get much faster than that. That is Little Caesars here in Fulton. So Samaniego, a .361 batter, .423 on base percentage, .574 slugging. As he's going to try to spark a 2-out rally here after Childers double down the line. First pitch goes for a ball. Second one in the dirt as well. Runner not able to advance. Good job by Neighbors to block that one up. For Childers, that was his 8th double on the year. He had a .412 batting average coming into this series, .439 on base, and .729 slugging. That pitch, missing. Oh, good-looking spot that time. Just a little low from the umpire's liking. It'll take us a couple of innings to see where the umpire is going to set up his strike zone. And right now, King a little struggling to find the zone here. 3-0 now is the count on Samaniego. And that's going to be a ball. 4 straight pitches, and he heads down to first. Second walk of the inning now, and here comes Thomas Stevens, the right fielder.
Now batting the right fielder, number 2, Thomas Stevens.
So Stevens will dig in here and try to keep the inning going. .278 is his batting average, .381 on base, .519 slugging percentage. Runner at second and first with 2 outs. Fastball missing low. Well, apparently the knees is going to have to be right on the knees, if not a little above it. So far it seems in the contest. Wind is blowing basically from left foul pole to right foul pole. So that pitch right down the middle. For a strike, 1-1 now is the count. So a Little Caesars double play by Wiltshire got the Indians out of a slight jam, and it came at the right time after Tucker Childers doubled down the line. As there's a breaking pitch missing for a ball. 2-1 now goes the count. So the Indians looking for an exit here in the top of the first. 2 outs, runners on first and second. We're in the top of the first here between ICC and Northeast. It's been a while since Northeast has come to Fulton to play a game. I think it's been 2 years since ICC has had the opportunity to host. And last time it was here in Fulton. It was in 2016, and Northeast actually came in and swept the Indians with a 7-4, 3-1 decisions. ICC hoping to avoid that this afternoon. There's a flare down the first baseline. It's going to go well foul. And the count will stay full now at 3-2. Last year, ICC traveled up to Boonville. They won the first game of the day, 6-4. Dropped the second, 10-5. And then, of course, in 2015, ICC won 18-3 in 7 innings and lost 6-5 in the second game. And then previous to that was whenever we had the North-South division, so there were 4 games each. We'll look at those throughout the afternoon. 3-2 pitch, fouled off, couldn't be held on to. Coach Andy Kirk checking in. His Indians off until Saturday when they play Jones County. He said he'll be on the way down shortly. That pitch outside corner, missing. Snap throw back to second, though. And just missed the tag. Now the count goes full at 3-2. The board a little difficult to read right now with the sun coming in. So the Indians trying to get out of this inning with no damage done. Northeast, though, trying to extend it with a 2-out hit. Stevens at the plate. Looks at strike 3. Nicely done by Austin King to get his first Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day, and it comes at a big time there as Stevens goes down looking, and that will end the inning there. No run zone, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on base as ICC gets out of a jam there. 0-0 as we head now to the bottom of the first. Let's take a look at today's Coca-Cola starting lineups. Coke and ICC. Now that's the winning combination, and Coach Rick Collier hopes he's got the winning combination put together here with his Game 1 starters. As it'll be Conor Lewis playing shortstop, leading things off for the Indians. Kyle Krieger, he'll be batting second, playing second. Batting third will be the left fielder, LeBryant Sedale. Batting in that cleanup spot will be Drew Thomas. He'll be the DH here in Game 1. Justin Medlin batting fifth. He'll be playing first base. And then it'll be Hunter Neighbors catching. He'll be batting in that sixth spot. And then it'll be Drake Wallace getting the start out in right field. He'll be batting seventh. Jackson Lancaster will be playing center field. He'll be batting eighth. And Russell Bunch will be batting in that ninth spot, playing third base. As we've already said, Austin King on the hill this afternoon for the Indians. We've talked about some of these young men already. We'll give you the complete starting lineup for Northeast. It was Parker Haberstraw that will be playing shortstop. He led things off. The DH was in that number 2 spot, Jacob Wiltshire. Batting third is Tucker Childers. He's catching. Batting fourth is Tyler Samaniego. He is at first base. And right field is Thomas Stevens. He's batting fifth. The center fielder will be batting sixth. That's Caleb Todd. Batting seventh will be the second baseman, Anthony Lipsy. Batting eighth will be Braxton Miller. He'll be in left field. And batting ninth is going to be Connor Boyer, as he is at third base. The pitcher today for the Tigers is Jake Christa. He has a 2-2 record with a 7.26 ERA. He does have 31 strikeouts on the year. Let's hear a quick word from our Coca-Cola. For today's starters, we'll be back with more right after this.
Best tailgate, brisket.
No, real football y pollo asado.
Hoops and wings.
Burgers.
7-layer dip.
Hummus.
What?
You need a hot grill.
And an ice cold Coke.
It's got to be cold.
It's tailgate 101.
And welcome back to action, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set to lead things off here in the bottom of the first, Game 1 between ICC and Northeast.
Conor Lewis.
This is going to be Conor Lewis leading things off here for the Indians in the bottom of the first. Lewis, a 300 batting average, 406 on base, and 487 slugging. Swings on the first pitch he sees, fouls it back for strike one. Now, of course, some of those Indians' batting averages dipped after Game 1 against Pearl River. My, oh my, what a performance it was by Shamar Page. He was lights out, 10 strikeouts against the Indians. He earned MACJC Pitcher of the Week, rightfully so. Lewis stands in, looks at that pitch high for a ball. 1-1 now is the count. So 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs as Lewis leads us off here in the bottom of the first. Game 1 scheduled for 9 innings. Lewis fouls this one straight back, and 1-2 now is the count. Well, the Indians would love to get some insurance runs here in the bottom of the first, as the Peanut Gallery, a big fan of Kyle Krieger apparently down here below us. Got a big cheer out of him going to get that foul ball. 1-2 is the count. Big looping curveball hangs up for a ball. 2-2 now is the count to Conor Lewis. Lewis, the shortstop, Krieger, second base, and LeBryant Sedale, left fielder, due up here in the bottom of the first. That pitch high gets away. 3-2 now goes the count. Well, much like Austin in the top part of the inning, Christa is struggling a little bit to locate that strike zone. Breaking ball that he just can't quite get on top of. As 3-2 now is the count. Lewis awaiting the pitch. Pops this one up. Second baseman drifting over. Now the right fielder calls him off and will camp underneath it for out number 1. Well, that one right there, the wind not blowing as much as it has been, but danced around a little bit in the wind, and the right fielder able to battle the sun. Finds that one for the putout for out number 1, and now up is going to be Kyle Krieger. Krieger batting .367. He's got a .414 on base percentage and a .557 slugging percentage. Stands in, takes that first pitch high and inside for a ball. That's some of the softball players down below us chirping a little bit. As that pitch inside for ball 2. 2-0 now goes the count. Well, as we said, if you're riding around Amory right now listening on FM 95 Sports, you got plenty of time to get to the ballpark. As this pitch fouled straight back for a strike. 2-1 now is the count. Game 1 going for 9 innings. It'll be here on FM 95 Sports. Game 2, that'll be a 7-inning game. It'll be only available on Let'sGoICCTV.com, the red channel. Awaiting the 2-1 offering here from Krista. And there's going to be a flare out to right field. Right fielder, though, is going to be able to camp underneath it for out number 2. So just a little line drive out there to right. And an easy put out there in right field for Stevens. His second put out of the inning. And now that'll bring LeBryant Siddell to the plate. So Siddell will look to extend the inning here for the Indians. LeBryant, a freshman out of Tupelo. Looks at that first pitch. High for a ball. Of course, when we talk about him being out of Tupelo, Braden Bishop makes sure that I always mention them blanket, former star athlete out there at Tupelo High School. Puts a bat on this one. Center fielder going back to the wall, and it's going to bounce at the foot of the wall, and this will be a double for Siddell. Big time hit there for LeBryant Siddell, a 2-out double. Now let's take a look at that one on the Little Caesars instant replay. And a nice at bat that time by Siddell. Thought he might have got enough of it to get out of the ballpark, but not quite. As it one hopped the fence, and he was able to go into second standing up, and now this is going to be the DH, Drew Thomas, coming to the plate here for the Indians. So Thomas, the DH, going to try to extend the inning here. ICC gets a clutch 2-out hit there for LeBryant Siddell. Thomas DHing here in game 1. Pretty much where he's been this season. He is a catcher by trade, but Hunter Neighbors has been pretty solid for the Indians behind the plate. Fastball paints the corner for a strike. Ball nearly thrown away back to the pitcher as Siddell saw him kind of pause there behind him. Thought about possibly taking off, but elected not to. So Thomas at the plate. Looks at that pitch high, it'll get away, and that'll put Liddell to third. Boy, a clutch 2-out hit here off the bat of Drew Thomas could be huge for the Indians. Scoreless in the bottom of the first, game 1 between ICC and Northeast. Siddell doubled to the gap in right. Advanced to third on the wild pitch, and now a base hit here will give the Indians a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Center runner on third here for the Indians. Drew Thomas is at the plate. A breaking pitch that just did not quite break enough. Now, we have seen a couple of pitches already get away from the catcher this afternoon. That's Tucker Childers behind the plate. 2-1 is the count. Ball in the dirt, blocked up, though, nicely by Childers that time, as Siddell will slowly walk back to third base. So now 3-1 is the count here to Drew Thomas. Justin Medlin on deck if Thomas were to find a way to reach. 2 outs, 3-1 is the count, and a runner on third here for the Indians. And couldn't catch up with the fastball. Ticked it, but held on to by the catcher for strike 2. 3-2 now is the count. Boy, if Thomas could have timed that one up, the way he took a healthy chop at that one, could have parked that one. Instead, now the count goes full here to Thomas. And Drew fouls this one back out of play, and we'll stay at 3-2. Of course, that one fouled straight back over us here in the ICC Foundation broadcast booth. Find out how you can contribute to ICC by visiting iccms.edu. You can contribute to scholarships and more through the ICC Foundation. So waiting the 3-2 offering. Ground ball, second baseman got an easy play, bobbled it for a second, then throws over in time for the putout. So score that 4-3 to retire Thomas. And much like the Tigers in the top half of the inning, the Indians get no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and only 1 left on base. We've played 1 here in game 1. 0-0 is your score. We're going to take a timeout. Hear a few words from our sponsors. We'll be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com and FM 95 Sports.
What if Mississippi's community and junior colleges didn't exist? You'd see a much different Mississippi, one without these degrees. And the jobs that come from them. One where many would fail to get a higher education because affordable community and junior college is their only hope. We're in danger of this happening thanks to state budget cuts. In fact, Mississippi once ranked #1 in America's community and junior college systems. #1. But now has slipped out of the top 10, way out, which is already a consequence of budget cuts. So, what if community and junior colleges didn't exist? If budget cuts continue, we may well find out. Contact your legislator and tell them to support Mississippi's community and junior colleges.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set to move to the top of the second inning. 0-0 is your score here between ICC and Northeast in game 1. Austin King still on the hill here for the Indians. His first offering to Caleb Todd, the center fielder, is fouled off for strike 1. It'll be Todd, Lipsy, and Miller due up here for the Tigers. Todd bats .279 on the year, .417 on base percentage, .471 slugging for the Tigers coming into this series. That pitch across for a strike. Took a little bit off of it that time. A little slider sneaks in there for strike 2. 0-2 now is the count here on the center fielder, Caleb Todd. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Quick work of Todd there by Austin King. The toss down was in time to get the put out. And that is going to be back-to-back Renaissance Bank strikeouts now for Austin King. And now up is going to be Anthony Lipsy. ICC fans, we want to tell you about one of the newest sponsors here for ICC Baseball. That's Legends Sports Grill. It's actually located almost directly behind us here in the ICC Foundation broadcast booth. Proud to sponsor ICC Baseball, softball, as that's a big, healthy swing and a miss there by Anthony Lipsy. They've got the coldest beverages in Etowah County and some of the best food. Don't forget all the pool tables and tournaments they have. That's Legends Sports Grill here in Fulton. Breaking pitch falling off the table just a little too soon. 1-1 now is the count. Lipsy on the year batting .351, .371 on base percentage, and a .526 slugging percentage. Takes a look at that fastball, fouled back out of play. 1-2 now is the count here on the second baseman. Lipsy looks like he's got a little bit of power in his bat. He swings like it too. 1-2 is the count with 1 out. Fastball jammed him, it goes foul, and we'll stay at 1-2. If you're not familiar where Legends Sports Grill is, just come to, like you're coming to the baseball field, instead of taking a right coming into campus, you just go on down a little bit. I think it's the old Artesian restaurant. It's that pitch in the dirt. 2-2 now is the count here on Lipsy. Just couldn't get him to chase one that time. 1 out, nobody on. Top of the second, 0-0 is your score between ICC and Northeast. That pitch missing outside. 3-2 now is the count on Lipsy. Good job by Lipsy. He fell behind in the count 1-2. His battle back now to force the count to go full at 3-2. King's already issued 2 walks in the contest. And, woo, good-looking pitch, but they said that was ball 4. Boy, I tell you what, tough not to ring him up on that one, and that brings up our newest
left fielder, number 32,
sponsor as well, and that's going to be Kegel Eye Center. If you're like the umpire, need to go get your eyes checked, give them a call at 862-EYES. That's 862-EYES. To set you up an appointment there. Fastball missing low and outside, 4-1. Lipsy is over at first, and this is now Braxton Miller at the plate. He's batting .276 on the season. He's got a .432 on base percentage, .276 slugging. That pitch missing low. Well, King struggling to find that strike zone. It's pretty tight, or at least not that low, I should say. He is missing pretty wide outside consistently, but missing at the knees or below the knees. As that one zipped across for a strike. 2-1 now is the count here to the left fielder, Braxton Miller. Not to be confused with the former Ohio State football player. As that pitch, a curveball that fell in that time, a little delayed strike call, and King now evens with the count at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, and a runner on first here for the Tigers. That pitch missing outside, couldn't get him to chase one there. 3-2 now is the count. Cold temperatures this afternoon here in Fulton, expected to drop throughout the night. Makes me happy to be at least inside where the wind can't get to us. As this is going to be a little hit and run action. Drake Wallace, though, is going to chase up and will squeeze it for the putout for the second out in the inning. Boy, I tell you what, thought there for a second that the runner did not think that Drake was going to be able to get to it and might have had a chance at a double play, but Lipsy recognized it and quickly moved back to first. And now comes up the number 9 batter. This is going to be Connor Boyer. Boyer batting .226 on the year, .302 on base, .321 slugging. Swings to the first pitch he sees, and it's going to be over the head of the shortstop for a hit. Well, a nice job by Boyer that time, not wasting any time as he put the bat on the ball on the first pitch he saw. That goes for the second hit of the afternoon for the Tigers. And now we go back to the top of the lineup,
Parker Haberstroh,
as this is going to be the shortstop, Parker Haberstroh. He walked, was erased, part of a Little Caesars double play back in the first. As he'll dig in with 2 outs, runners on first and second, much like what we saw in the top part of the first. That pitch paints the outside corner for a strike. Runner at second, that's Lipsy. Runner over at first is Boyer. 2 outs here in the top of the second. Curveball, fouled it off for strike 2. Well, the wind is blowing out towards right field, but as I said, it's basically from foul pole to foul pole. Technically, I guess you're supposed to call those fair poles because if it hits the pole, it's a fair ball. That pitch missing low and outside. Snap throw back to second is in time. No! Said he must have missed him with the tag. Well, the throw was there. Good job, though, by Lipsy. Apparently jumping around the tag and getting a hand on the bag before he was able to tag him. So the Tigers will see a new life here. 1-2 is the count. Curveball. And it's going to be a nice diving stop. Throw across the way is not in time, and it gets away. This will allow 1 run to score. And the Tigers take a 1-0 lead. That'll be a hit plus an error. So Haberstroth will get the hit.
Now batting for the Tigers, number 27, Jacob Wiltshire.
And Lipsy will score on the error. And so now this will be Jacob Wiltshire at the plate. That pitch missing low for a ball. Well, that's one thing that Coach Collier said he wanted to try to do today. Was part of the keys to victory was keep a goose egg in that error column. And the Indians just committed an error there that allowed a run to score. Pitch in the dirt, blocked up nicely that time by Neighbors. So 1-0 is your score. Tigers on top, trying to extend the inning here. Ground ball, third baseman gets it, throws it across the way, and it's going to be in time for out number 3. Score that one 5-3 on the putout of Wiltshire, but the Tigers do get 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on FM 95 Sports and Let's Go ICCTV.com.
What's better than waiting in line at the bank? Literally everything. Renaissance Bank's mobile check deposit lets you take care of checks wherever you want. Click on Deposit Check in the Renaissance mobile app. Read and hit Continue on the bottom of the notice page. Sign it. Write your name, account number, and for mobile deposit only on the back. Photograph it, front and back, so we know it's real. Type in the amount, choose the account to deposit into, click Continue, and go on your way. You'll receive an email that is being processed, but hold on to the hard copy until the check clears, and then rip it up and throw it away. So what are you waiting for? Download the Renaissance mobile banking app and make waiting in line a thing of the past. Check, phone, check. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
The new extra most bestest pizza from Little Caesars is topped with the most cheese and the most pepperoni for the nation's best price. And now for a secret message.
Surrender to the toppings.
Incredible! Extra most bestest, the most cheese and most pepperoni for just $6.
Pizza.
And welcome back to action, ladies and gentlemen. If you would like to sponsor some ICC athletics here on Let's Go ICC TV as well as FM 95 Sports, give me a call at 862-8059. That's 862-8059. It'll be Justin Medlin leading things off here for the Indians. So he takes a look at that first pitch, high and outside for a ball. It'll be Medlin, Neighbors, and Wallace due up here for the Indians in the bottom of the second. ICC trailing in this one, 1-0. So 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1 now goes the count here on Neighbors. Neighbors looks at that pitch low. Well, that's one thing the home plate umpire's been pretty consistent with today. He does not like pitches low in the zone. So you're going to have to be careful as a pitcher and not work up too high. As this pitch popped up a mile high. Pitcher calling everyone off, loses it. Now the third baseman coming in and makes the play for the putout. So a fly out in foul territory. Retires Medlin. Nice job over there at third base by Connor Boyer to come in and call that one off. And now this is going to be the catcher, Hunter Neighbors, at the plate. Neighbors batting .320 coming into this series. Takes a look at that pitch, high for a ball. He's got a 455 on base percentage. 480 is his slugging percentage coming into this series. Takes a look at that pitch right down Broadway for a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. So that pitch is up. 2-1 now is the count here on Hunter Neighbors. ICC with 1 hit this afternoon. It was a double by LeBryant Sedale. He was able to advance to third on a wild pitch, but a ground out to second ended the threat. Neighbors fouls that one off. 2-2 now is the count. Well, Jake Krista has come in and pitched pretty well. He's changing up a lot of his speeds and his locations, and the Indians hasn't quite figured out the riddle of Krista just yet. There's a shot that's going to be down to the gap. Nice hard hit that time by Hunter Neighbors, and he singles. That one didn't quite run like I was expecting it to. Of course, we got those rains last night. The field in amazing conditions considering the weather last night. So when the ball does hit in the outfield, it's not going to run like it typically does. So now this is going to be Drake Wallace, the right fielder, out of Amory at the plate. Drake batting .311 coming into this series. Looks at a curveball up high for a ball. He's got a .380 on base percentage. .378 is the slugging for Wallace. Of course, he's a two-sport star here at ICC. He was a member of the Indian football team. Didn't play baseball last year. This is actually his first year to play baseball. 2-year letterman for the Indians in football. Curveball, and this is a beauty across for a strike. 1-1 now is the count here on Wallace. Jackson Lancaster is on deck. ICC trailing 1-0 here in the bottom of the second in game one. Of course, game one, as we'll mention a couple of times, scheduled for 9 innings. As there was a wicked slider that time that Wallace just could not find. 1-2 now is the count. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, and a runner on first here for ICC. Neighbors reached on a 1-out single. And a nice off-speed pitch that time, and Wallace goes down swinging at a breaking pitch. That is the first Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day for Jake Krista, his 32nd of the season.
Jackson Lancaster.
And now with 2 outs in the inning, this will be Jackson Lancaster coming to the plate here for the Indians. Lancaster, a .294 batting average, .362 on base, and a .333 slugging percentage. Looking to extend the inning here. Takes a look at that first pitch on that outside corner for a strike. See members of the ICC women's basketball team making their way here to Crescent Field, coming out to support ICC. Softball team here. Members of the football team, men's basketball. So a lot of the sports getting behind the baseball team this afternoon. That pitch, wow. Catcher shifted and moved a little low and outside, and it was called a strike. So 0-2 now is the count here on Jackson Lancaster. Going to have to protect the plate. Sets up way outside that time. Couldn't get him to chase. 1-2 now is the count here on the center fielder, Lancaster. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner at first. That's Hunter Neighbors. And wow, strike 3. He hadn't been calling low strikes all day, but called a couple of them there to get Jackson Lancaster looking for the second straight Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day for Krista. And the Indians go quietly in the bottom of the second. No runs, 1 hit. 1 error, and 1 left on base. We've played 2 in Fulton. Northeast 1, ICC 0. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
Helen, don't you know Little Caesars has the extra most bestest for $6?
$6? I gotta sit down.
Yeah, it has the most cheese and pepperoni for the nation's best price.
Most cheese and most pepperoni? I gotta sit all the way down.
Get the most cheese and most pepperoni for the nation's best price. Little Caesars large $6 extra most bestest.
Pizza, pizza.
The longer a person has diabetes, the more likely they are to develop diabetic retinopathy. If left untreated, diabetic retinopathy can lead to blindness. That's why it's important for diabetics to have a comprehensive eye examination with dilation once a year. I'm Dr. Laurie Cagle of Cagle Eye Center in Fulton. We offer comprehensive eye exams to provide diagnosis and treatment of various eye diseases. Browse our large selection of frames available in prescription and non-prescription. Call to schedule your appointment today at Cagle Eye Center in Fulton.
Leading off for the Tigers, number 7.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set here for the top of the third. ICC trailing 1-0 here. It'll be the 3-4-5 batters due up for the Tigers. Childers, Samaniego, and Stevens. Austin King's first pitch to start the third is outside for a ball. Indians have a couple of hits. Had a runner in scoring position in the first, but couldn't do anything with it. Nice breaking pitch. Way ahead of that one was Childers. Childers in his previous at-bat came up and had a flare out to left field that chased out in the corner. It was a good thing the Indians had a Little Caesars double play before that, or that would have scored a run. Now here's a deep shot to right field. Drake Wallace back to the wall and makes the leaping catch for the out. So Wallace making that one look a little bit more exciting than it probably should have been. A tough play for Drake out there in right field, having to go out and catch that one. And on the warning track for out number 1, and now up is Tyler Samaniego. He walked, was left stranded back in the first. Swings the first pitch he sees, and this one slicing away, and it's going to get over the head of the center fielder. This is going to go for a double. Looking like my tee shot, as that one had a nasty break to it. The second hit going for extra bases for the Tigers this afternoon. First hit of the day for Samaniego, and that's a double that just jumped off the bat, and it had a big, nasty slice to it. Jackson Lancaster did everything he could to chase it down. It just tailed away from him. Hit in the grass, ran off to the wall, and it was a easy stand-up double there for Samaniego. And now this is going to bring up Thomas Stevens. Stevens struck out looking to end the first. Digs in now with 1 out and a runner on second. Can't catch up with the fastball. Strike 1. Stevens, 278 coming into this series, 381 on base, and a 519 slugging percentage. Indians already trail 1-0. Tigers trying to build on that lead here in the top of the third. That pitch missing low into the dirt. 1-1 now is the count. Tucker Childers flew out to right field on a leaping catch near the wall by Drake Wallace. A beautiful breaking pitch that Stevens tried to hold off on. He did, but still called a strike. 1-2 now is the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, and a runner on second here for the Tigers. Flag is barely whipping out there in center field. Fastball in dirt, blocked up nicely that time by Neighbors. 2-2 now goes the count. Stevens struck out looking to end the first. The Indians would love to find that second out here in the form of a strikeout again. 2-2 offering. There it is, strike 3. Nice curveball that time. Second time today Stevens has gone down swinging. And that is the third Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day for Austin King. And now up will be the center fielder, Caleb Todd. Todd struck out to start the second. He's batting .279 on the season, a .417 on base percentage, .471 slugging. Looks at that first pitch, up for a ball. 2 outs and a runner on second. That's Samaniego, who just hit a slicing line drive out to center field. He was able to get a stand-up double. Pitch in the dirt, blocked up nicely by Neighbors. Runner not able to advance. 2-0 now is the count here on the center fielder, Caleb Todd. The first of 2 games this afternoon. Game 2 will only be available on Let's Go ICC TV. As that pitch missing low for a ball again. 3-0 now is the count. Wind starting to pick up now, shaking the flagpole out in center field. Once again, it's blowing basically from foul pole to foul pole. 3-0 is the count. 2 outs and a runner on second. Fastball right down Broadway. 3-1 now is the count. Caleb Todd taking the whole way that time. Awaiting the 3-1 offering here from King. It's a fastball and he loses him. Another walk. King struggling to locate. He likes to work low in the zone, and, well, it's just not a good combination between him and the home plate umpire right now, as the home plate umpire doesn't necessarily like calling him low in the zone. Third walk of the day here for Austin King. And now this is going to bring up Anthony Lipsy. Lipsy walked, scored on an error back in the second, and that's the difference in the game right now. As that pitch in the dirt, once again blocked up nicely by Hunter Neighbors. So the Tiger batter is doing a good job of getting ahead of Austin King. 1-0 is the count now. He was doing a good job there in the second, getting ahead, but then kind of started falling behind in the count. Ran in some hitter counts, and they took advantage. Ground ball, third baseman gets it, throws it over in time for the putout. 5-3 to end the inning. Russell Munch makes that one look easy there. As the Tigers, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on base. Here in the top of the third, 1-0 is your score here between ICC and Northeast. We're going to take a break, and we come back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com and FM 95 Sports.
At Food Giant, serving you is our #1 priority. We offer the freshest produce, highest quality meats, tasty baked goods, and the best meats and cheeses in our deli department. Check out this week's specials.
Folgers Classic Roast Ground Coffee, $5.98. Bush's Best Baked or Grill and Beans, 2 for $3. And Sunny D Citrus Punch, 64-ounce. Tangy Orange or Smooth Punch, $1.
At Food Giant, you'll always find a staff member eager to help you find exactly what you need. Freshness, variety, value. Shop Food Giant today with several locations in North Mississippi.
This broadcast on Let'sGoICCTV.com is presented by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Food Giant, the Sonic of Fulton, your Etowah County Farm Bureau agent Joey Cox, the ICC BSU, Bank of Okolona, Legend Sports Grill, the ICC Wesley Foundation, Choice Palm, Kegel Eye Center, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the ICC Alumni Association, and the ICC Foundation.
And welcome back to action, ladies and gentlemen, as we now move to the bottom of the third inning. It'll be Russell Bunch leading things off here for the Indians. Bunch takes a healthy chop at the first pitch he sees. Can't find it for strike 1. The 9-1-2 batters due up here for the Indians. Russell Bunch, Conor Lewis, and Kyle Krieger. Bunch batting .278 with a .378 on-base percentage. .444 is his slugging percentage. And can't find that one. And quickly behind the count now, 0-2. That's one thing that Jake Krista has done a great job of so far in the contest, and that's getting ahead of batters here for the Indians. So 0-2 is the count. Bunch leading things off here in the bottom of the third. Pitch high and outside for a ball. See if you couldn't get him to chase one outside after sneaking 2 by him. Held off on that one. 1-2 now is the count here to Bunch. Bunch jammed on this one off the fist. Second baseman coming over, camps underneath it, and squeezes it for out number 1. So the Indians just cannot quite get a solid bat on the ball. It was a double by Sedale back in the first, and then a hard hit single by Neighbors in the second. That's the only 2 hits for the Indians so far in the contest. Nothing to show for it. The Tigers, however, have 4 hits, 2 of those going for extra bases. But luckily for the Indians, both those guys that have moved into scoring position have been left stranded. Ooh, good-looking curveball, called a ball. 1-0 is the count here to Conor Lewis. Lewis flew out to right in his first at-bat. And knocks one back out that way, and that's going to go for a base hit. Nicely done there by Conor Lewis. Got a pitch he could go with and went with it and just dropped it out there in right field. And for the first time, or excuse me, the second time today that the Indians have a runner on with only one out. Now this will be Kyle Krieger coming to the plate. Kyle flew out to right field back in the first inning. Indians trail 1-0 here in the bottom of the third, trying to find that tying run. Maybe even see if we can't get a merry-go-round going here in the bottom of the third to take the lead. So Krieger at the plate. Sees the first pitch, fouls it off for strike one. We talked about it. For the Tigers, they came in with a little bit of momentum. They picked up a 11-10 come-from-behind win over number 9 Jones County. That was in Jones, or in Ellisville, I should say, at Jones. ICC were swept at Pearl River. They dropped a heartbreaking 8-6 decision in Game 2 after giving up 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th. So trying to rebound here this afternoon. And there's a ground ball, and it's going to get its way through. Nicely done that time by Krieger. As that time the replay just didn't play the replay we were hoping to see that time, as that was actually a replay of Conor Lewis's single. So now back-to-back hits. Now this is going to be LeBryant Siddell coming to the plate. Boy, it'd be a good time to see LeBryant do what he did in his last at-bat, and that was a double. So runners on first and second here. The ICC with 1 out, trailing 1-0 in the bottom of the third. Game 1 was Northeast. Siddell takes a look at a wicked curveball that zipped back into the strike zone. 0-1 is the count here to LeBryant Siddell. He advanced on a wild pitch, so he actually got to third base but was left stranded back in the first after a ground ball to second. Another curveball. This one hangs up high. Don't really think the catcher gave him much of a chance to even think about calling that one, as he stood up before it got to him. It actually dropped down a little bit. So now the count evens up at 1-1 with 1 out. Runners on first and second here for the Indians. Great crowd out this afternoon. Support ICC has allowed almost some pretty good crowd coming out for the Tigers. Siddell rips one. And they're going to try to get the runner at second. They do. Nice play over there at short. So that'll be a fielder's choice for Siddell. But a good play by the shortstop, Parker Haberstraw.
Now batting for the Indians, number 6, Drew Thomas.
To get at least 1 out. He made a long-ranging stop and then a nice throw over his second to get Krieger by a step. So now with 2 outs, this is going to be Drew Thomas. Thomas grounded out to second to end the first. ICC's got the tying run now at third base. We're in the bottom of the third between ICC and Northeast here in Game 1. This game scheduled for 9 innings. So waiting the pitch here from Krista to Thomas. That pitch up high for a ball. Well, so far so good on the strike zone, I believe. It seems to be pretty consistent on both sides of the plate. And that's really all you ask for out of umpires, a little bit of consistency. Indians would love to find a base hit here. Look one way, throw the other. Did not throw it, actually. So no harm, no foul. Just basically resetting there for Jake Krista. Krista with a 7.26 ERA. He has yet to give up his first run of the day. Now would be a great time to do so. 2 outs and a runners on the corners. Thomas fouls this one straight back. 1-1 now is the count. It's Justin Medlin on deck for the Indians. He would like to get an at-bat here. 1-1 is the count. 2 outs. Runners on first and third for the Indians. They trail 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. And snap throw down to first is not in time, and a little accidental tag in the face that time as LeBryant Sedale slid to get back. That pitch called a ball. It wasn't really anything malicious, just a quick tag back, and LeBryant's face happened to be at the wrong spot at the wrong time, and a good show of sportsmanship over there at first base by Samaniego to make sure Sedale was okay. He actually called time along with LeBryant, and he looked down at him, made sure he's okay, because it was pretty stout. LeBryant shook it off. So now, after that pitch called a strike, Thomas got to guard the dish here. 2-2 is the count, 2 outs. Runners on the corners. A breaking pitch that misses low and outside. 3-2 now goes the count here to Drew Thomas. Full count. Justin Medlin waiting on deck here for the Indians. Would love to get in that bat here, either via a walk or a base hit. We'll take a hit here, though. This is going to be a flare out to right field. Right fielder's got a long way to run to get to it. Is going to let it drop, and it's a fair ball. 1 run will score. Oh, no! That hit the line. That hit the line. Oh, no. That's going to take 2 runs off the board for the Indians. Judging by the reaction of the right fielder, he hustled to get to it. And that means he thought it was a fair ball. That was a fair ball. You saw it. Well, not on the screen here, but judging by the reaction of the right fielder hurrying to get to the ball, but the home plate umpire come up and called it a foul ball. Boy, tough break for the Indians. If that's going to take 2 runs off the board. Nuts and bolts on that call there, ladies and gentlemen. So Drew Thomas will have to come back and try to redeem himself here. 3-2 stays the count. Runners stay on the corners here for the Indians. And this pitch fouled back out of play, and we'll stay at 3-2. Good job by Thomas that time to find a piece of that pitch to foul it off and keep the at-bat alive. Might have been ball 4, but after that last call down the line, you just don't know. So 3-2 is the count. Hard hit, line drive. Third baseman finds it, throws it across the way, and the Indians, going to leave the inning with a bitter taste in their mouth on that one. What should have been a 2-run double for Drew Thomas turns into a ground ball to the third baseman to take 2 runs off the board, and ICC trails it 1-0 thanks to an assist by the home plate umpire. Speaking of needing to get your eyes checked, let's hear a word from Kegel Eye Center here in Fulton.
Did you know your child's eyes can be checked as young as 6 months of age? They do not have to know their letters or even be able to talk in order to receive a comprehensive eye exam. Your eye doctor can tell you many things just by looking at them. I'm Dr. Laurie Kegel of Kegel Eye Center in Fulton. We offer comprehensive eye exams to provide proper diagnosis and treatment of various eye diseases. Browse our large selection of frames available in prescription and non-prescription. Call to schedule your eye appointment today at Kegel Eye Center in Fulton.
Need money now? Get a Choice Pawn loan on things you already own, like guns, boats, campers, trailers, recreational vehicles, and just about everything else. Get a loan from Choice Pawn in Fulton and Tupelo. Get cash today. ChoicePawn.com.
The new extra most bestest pizza from Little Caesars is topped with the most cheese and the most pepperoni for the nation's best price. And now for a secret message.
Surrender to the toppings.
Incredible! Extra most bestest, the most cheese and most pepperoni for just $6.
Pizza, pizza.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now we move to the top of the 4th inning.
Number 32, Braxton Miller.
Tigers get a big break there on a questionable foul ball called. That took away a double by Drew Thomas that would have scored 2 runs and given the Indians a 2-1 lead. Is that fastball in there for a strike? Either way it goes, though, you got to play it. If you're the Indians, can't let that get to you. You want to try to get a quick 3-up, 3-down inning here and see if you can get the bats back to the plate. A breaking pitch across for a strike. Good job that time taking some speed off of that one. This is Braxton Miller at the plate here for the Tigers. They lead it 1-0 here in the top of the fourth. Curveball, strike three, and it was a beauty. Take a look at that on the Little Caesars instant replay, and that is the fourth Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day for Austin King. And now this will bring the number 9 batter, Connor Boyer, to the plate. He's the third baseman. He's played pretty well over there on the corner. Chases a pitch in the dirt for a strike. So a gift there for the Indians as Boyer just could not quite hold off on that one. Strike one is the call. And then another breaking pitch that confused Boyer, and he half-heartedly swings at that one. And is behind in the count now, 0-2. We'll try to find some scores throughout the league coming your way. Like Austin King may have had some dust fly up in his eye as he steps off the mound. So awaiting the 0-2 pitch. Fastball across for strike three. Boyer did not like the call there. Stood there for a minute and now is heading back to the dugout. Back-to-back Renaissance Bank strikeouts, and now this will be Parker Haberstroh coming to the plate. He is 1 for 1 on the day with a walk. Was left stranded in scoring position. Or excuse me, no, not in scoring position. And they're going to say he went on that one. But he was left stranded back in the second. So 2 away and nobody on here in the top of the fourth. ICC trailing Northeast 1-0. That pitch missing low and outside for a ball. A Bank of Okolona scoreboard update in the bottom of the third. Jones County leading Southwest 2-1. Fastball, ground ball. First baseman has it, throws it over to King in time for the putout. Take a look at that on the Little Caesars instant replay. A nice play there over at first by Justin Medlin. Even better hustle by Austin King to get over and get the putout to retire Habersmith for a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Tigers. No runs, no hits, no errors. In the top of the fourth, ICC trails it 1-0 here in game one. It'll be the 5, 6, 7 batters due up here for the Indians in the bottom half of the fourth. Medlin, Neighbors, and Wallace trying to get something started for the Indians. They trail it 1-0 here in game one. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
You could say it's about the clubs. You could say it's about the ball. You could even say it's about the course or the weather. But what it really comes down to is consistency and hard work. Over and over and over again. At Renaissance, we understand consistency. We understand hard work. Most importantly, we understand you. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you.
Need money now? Get a Choice Pawn loan on things you already own, like guns, boats, campers, trailers, recreational vehicles, and just about everything else. Get a loan from Choice Pawn in Fulton and Tupelo. Get cash today. ChoicePawn.com.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As this will be Justin Medlin to lead us off here in the bottom of the fourth. ICC trailing 1-0 here to Northeast in game one. First pitch high and outside for a ball. This pitch popped a mile high. The Indians struggling to get some good hard level swings, as that's going to be a fly ball to second to retire Medlin for the first out of the inning. And now up is going to be Hunter Neighbors.
Now batting the catcher, number 19, Hunter Neighbors.
Neighbors ripped a single out to left field in his previous at-bat. Trying to spark the Indians' bats here. They've got 4 hits, so do the Tigers, but the Tigers have taken advantage of an error by the Indians to put a run on the board. A beautiful curveball out of the hands of Krista that time goes across for a strike. Neighbors, took a healthy chop at that one, just came up empty. Trying to park that one that time. 0-2 now is the count. So Neighbors going to have to guard the dish here. Behind the count, 0-2. That's something Krista's done a really good job of. Staying ahead of the Indian batters. That time pitching a pitch low and outside. See if you couldn't even go fishing here on a chilly but nice afternoon in Fulton. But he held off on that one. 1-2 now is the count. And there's going to be a carbon copy hit of his last one as it's going to drop for a base hit there. Second hit of the game for Hunter Neighbors. You'll take a look at the pitcher. He kind of slipped after his release. Or no, actually he did not. It kind of looked like it from the original point of view, but a nice at-bat that time by Neighbors. He's got 2 hits on the afternoon. That's the 5th hit of the day for the Indians. And now this is going to be Drake Wallace coming to the plate. For those listening on FM 95 Sports, Drake is a hometown boy for you there in Amory. He struck out swinging in his first at-bat. That was for the second out of the second inning. So trying to redeem himself here. 1 out and a runner on first. And Hunter Neighbors. Wallace swings at the first pitch he sees. This one lifted, center fielder going back to the wall, and it's going to bounce off the top of the wall. This will score the tying run. Wallace is going to try to go in for a triple, and he will. Big time hit there for Drake Wallace as we take a look at that on the Little Caesars instant replay. An RBI triple off the wall out there in right field. Thought it had a chance to get out of here, and we're tied at 1. Big time hit there for Drake Wallace. Well, that may send some car horns honking out there in Amory as the hometown boy comes through for the Indians to tie the contest at 1-1. And now this will be Jackson Lancaster, who struck out looking to end the second. He'll dig in with the go-ahead run over at third, and Wallace, who tripled off the wall. And there's a shot right back up the middle. And the Indians have rallied to take the lead 2-1 on a nice at-bat there by Lancaster. You see it just blitz right past the pitcher. Back-to-back hits now. And the Indians lead it 2-1. And now up is going to be Russell Bunch. Bunch wanting to keep the hit parade going here for the Indians as he popped up to the second baseman in his first at bat. That was to start the third inning. Bunch takes a look at the curveball. It's across for a strike. Well, if the Indians can ever pick up when Krista is throwing that curveball, he is hanging a few today, and you could almost give one a ride here. So that pitch across for a strike. 0-1 is the count. 1 out and a runner on first. ICC has rallied to lead 2-1. Fastball up. 1-1 now is the count. So the crowd fired up a little bit. You hear a little bit of a murmuring amongst the ICC faithful below us in the ICC Foundation broadcast booth. 1-1 is the count. Bunch just could not quite locate that one. High heat. 1-2 now is the count. One out, runner at first. That's Jackson Lancaster, who just had an RBI single right back up the middle to give the Indians a 2-1 lead. And Bunch can't find that one, goes down swinging. That is the third Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day for Krista. Now with 2 outs in the inning, we go back to the top of the lineup.
Number 13, Conor Lewis.
And this is Conor Lewis coming to the plate. Hey, if you are out there watching or listening, hit us up on Twitter at Let's Go ICC. Even send us a photo. Let us know where you're watching or listening from. As Conor Lewis misses a slider for a strike. Well, instead of a commercial break here in the exchange of the innings, we'll look over some replays and go over our Sonic scoring so far in the contest. Lewis couldn't pull the trigger on that one. Great location on the inside corner of the plate by Krista. And 0-2 now is the count here on Lewis. So Lewis going to have to protect the dish. 2 outs and a runner at first here for the Indians. And that pitch missing high. 1-2 now is the count. Of course, first hit us up on Twitter. That's at Let's Go ICC. Saw some of the softball players send us a tweet earlier that they were at the ballpark. I'd love to see you do the same. Oh, nearly pickoff move there as caught Lancaster leaning, but luckily he was not that far away from the base, able to not necessarily dive back, but almost belly flop back over and extend his hand out to get on the bag before the tag was applied. So the 1-2 pitch here to Conor Lewis. Swung on and missed for strike 3, and that will end the inning there. Lewis 1 for 3 on the afternoon. First time he has struck out. Back-to-back Renaissance Bank strikeouts by Krista. But the Indians do get 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. We've played 4, and ICC leads it 2-1. Let's take a look at some of our Little Caesars instant replays so far in the contest, and we will recap some scoring this afternoon. And this goes back to the top of the second when it was an error by the Indians that allowed Anthony Lipsy, who walked, to come around and score the long run of the afternoon for the Tigers. As you take a look at some of those highlights, these highlights being brought to you by Little Caesars, a hot and ready pizza. Only $5, single topping pizza there in Fulton. Stop by and see them on South Adams Street. For the Indians, you just heard the run scored there in the bottom of the 4th inning. It started by a single by Neighbors, his second hit of the day. And then he was able to score on a triple off the wall by Drake Wallace. That was an RBI triple for Drake. That was his 12th RBI of the year. Then Jackson Lancaster followed with a hard hit single right back up the middle to score Wallace. For Lancaster, that was his 6th RBI of the season. And then back-to-back Renaissance Bank strikeouts left Lancaster stranded over at first. As now we're going to come back to live action here. So you take a look at a Renaissance Bank strikeout there for Austin King, as now back to live action. That pitch low for a ball. So for the Tigers, it'll be the 2-3-4 batters. Wilcher, Childers, and Samaniego due up here. And swung on and missed there for a strike. 1-1 now is the count. Remind you, if you're ever away from your car, say working at your desk, you can hear the hits of yesterday every day on FM 95 Sports. Swung on and missed as that ball gets away, though. But that's for strike 2. 1-2 now is the count. But yeah, that's FM95radio.com. We'll try to figure out the rest of our baseball broadcast schedule for you soon and have that available for you there. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Good job by Austin King coming back, working that inside heat and getting his 6th Renaissance Bank strikeout of the game. And now up is going to be Tucker Childers. Childers is 1 for 2 with a double. He was left stranded back in the first. He also flew out to right in his previous at-bat. That pitch just missing low for a ball. 1-0 now is the count. Purdue have a softball final for you. East Mississippi defeats Mississippi Delta 12-4. That was in game 1. That pitch missing low for a ball. 2-0 now is the count. Looks like East Central and Colin and softball tied 3-3. That's after 3 innings, or I should say in the middle of the 4th. A couple of Bank of Oklahoma scoreboard updates. Fastball inside, paints that corner. 2-1 now is the count. Softball, Meridian leading Southwest 3-1. That's after 4 complete. Ground ball up the middle. Second baseman's got a feet on it. Bobbles it around, pops it up, throws it over. Is it in time? Yes, it is. Nice play over there at second base. It popped out of his glove, but luckily popped right back into his throwing hand. Zips it across for the putout, 4-3 of Childers. Got him by a step. Good play over there at second base by Krieger to come up and find the second out of the inning. And now up is going to be Samaniego, the first baseman, who is 1 for 1 with a walk and a double. That pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Curveball, ooh, good looking pitch. Not really sure where that one missed that time, but called a ball. 1-1 now is the count. So waiting the 1-1 offering. And that one looked to be low, maybe a makeup call after the last pitch he called a ball. 1-2 now is the count. They're going to appeal the check swing. He did not go. Good call by the first base umpire as he was able to check back on that one. At least I thought so, and the first base umpire agreed. Jones leading Southwest in baseball. That's 10-1. Swung on and missed for strike 3. A big-time Renaissance Bank strikeout there to end the inning. Another 3-up, 3-down inning as that's the 7th Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day for Austin King. As we head to the bottom of the 5th, ICC trying to build on their 2-1 lead. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
Ever since you got that license, you haven't stopped moving forward. Now that you're older and on the move, you need a safer place to keep your money. We get it. A student checking account frees you up with things like mobile check deposit to take care of that check from grandma without having to stop at a bank. Pay with your phone when you're out with friends. And stop worrying about ATM fees. We'll pay you back for those. Worry about your future, not your money. And know that we'll stick with you wherever you go. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
The new extra most bestest pizza from Little Caesars is topped with the most cheese and the most pepperoni for the nation's best price. And now for a secret message.
Surrender to the toppings.
Incredible! Extra most bestest, the most cheese and most pepperoni for just $6.
Pizza.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set here for the bottom of the 5th inning. Game 1 between ICC and Northeast. ICC leading 2-1. This game scheduled for 9 innings here in Game 1. And it'll be Kyle Krieger to lead things off for the Indians. A breaking pitch called a strike, much to the dismay of the softball team below us here. That pitch missing outside for a ball. Another Bank of Okolona scoreboard update as I was talking about. It was a 9-run 3rd inning for Jones. They lead Southwest 10-1 after 3 innings. That's in baseball as this pitch fouled straight back. 1-2 now goes the count. At the end of 3, it's East Central leading Pearl River 4-1. Warriors take advantage of a pair of errors to score 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd. And East Central trying to shake up the conference standings. As that pitch missing low and outside, 2-2 now is the count here to Kyle Krieger. Krieger 1 for 2. He had a single, was erased on a fielder's choice back in the 3rd. He also lined out to right in the 1st. This pitch popped a mile high. Shortstop chasing over, can't find it. And it's going to drop. And heads up base running by Krieger as he will go in for a double. Nice, smart play that time by Krieger. Never checked up. The player from Northeast could not find it. he was able to do as your coach. Don't stop running until the play is stopped, and that is going to be a double, the second hit of the day for Krieger. And now up is going to be LeBryant Siddell. Siddell does have a double on the afternoon. He grounded into a fielder's choice in his previous at-bat, was left stranded in the third. Also was left stranded at third in the first. So the Indians trying to pick up one of those insurance runs here in the bottom of the fifth. This game's scheduled for 9 innings. Of course, when we talk about those insurance runs, we talk about your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox. For all your insurance needs, stop by and see Joey there on South Adams Street, a former ICC All-American football player, proud to sponsor ICC Athletics here on FM 95 Sports. Breaking pitch that just couldn't quite pull the string on to find the zone. 1-0 now is the count here to LeBryant Siddell, the left fielder for the Indians. Well, not a really cloudy afternoon. It's one of those, if you take your eye off the ball, the wind is blowing enough that could shift it away from you. Left fielder never really came in to cover it for the Tigers. Shortstop lost it altogether, and it dropped harmlessly to the turf for the Indians. Siddell was waiting on the curveball there, just could not find a piece of it. He gets another one like that. LeBryant's got enough power to do something crazy with that one. So 1-1 is the count here. No outs and a runner on second by Krieger. Or I should say, is Krieger after a double by Krieger. 1-1 offering. Fastball finds the corner of the plate. 1-2 now is the count. There's no outs in the inning. Siddell, then Drew Thomas due up next for the Indians. Of course, Thomas eventually grounded out to third after what we thought was a 2-run double. The home plate umpire, a long way away from the plate, called a foul ball. Looked like it hit on the line. But the Indians were able to rally back with 2 runs in the bottom of the fourth to take this 2-1 lead. That pitch missing outside. 2-2 now is the count here on the left fielder, Siddell. Two balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Siddell fouls this one back out of play, and we'll stay at 2-2. Well, as we said, an absolutely beautiful day here at the ballpark. You need a little bit more than a light jacket. If you do plan on to come out here, I would most definitely suggest a sweatshirt, a hoodie. If you do plan on sticking around for game 2, you do have plenty of time to get here for the second game, as this game's scheduled for 9 innings. We're in the bottom of the fifth with ICC leading 2-1. Runner on second with no outs and LeBryant Siddell at the plate. Siddell lifts this one up, pops it up. Catcher is going to trek over. Looks like he's going to get out of play, though, and it will. And we'll stay at 2-2. Nice little battle at the plate between Siddell and Krista right now. Can't really tell if the Tigers have anyone up in the bullpen. Got a tree that kind of blocks my way down there. I don't necessarily see anybody, so it doesn't look like they got anybody up and working. Not necessarily saying they need to in this case, but looks like Krista's starting to become a little bit more deliberate and methodical in his pitching. 2-2 offering. Curveball, and couldn't hold off on that one. Just couldn't quite find enough of it, as it was fouled off that time. Way ahead of the pitch was Siddell. Softball, Jones County leading Pearl River 3-1 after 1. That was a 3-run home run in the bottom of the first for Jones to take that lead. It's a Bank of Okolona scoreboard update, bankofokolona.com. 2-2 pitch coming. And a liner that gets past the third baseman. And they're going to check the runner at third. And that's going to be a smart play that time by LeBryant Siddell. as he just kept on trucking, so he'll get a single advance on the throw. And now the Indians have runners
Number 6, Drew Thomas.
in scoring position here as Drew Thomas coming to the plate. So Thomas trying to redeem himself. He's 0 for 2 with a ground out to second and a ground out to third, and we're going to have a visit to the mound here by Northeast. With this trip to the mound, we're going to take a timeout. Hear a word from Sonic and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
The new extra most bestest pizza from Little Caesars is topped with the most cheese and the most pepperoni for the nation's best price. And now for a secret message.
Surrender to the toppings.
Incredible! Extra most bestest, the most cheese and most pepperoni for just $6.
Pizza, pizza.
Need money now? Get a Choice Pawn loan on things you already own, like guns, boats, campers, trailers, recreational vehicles, and just about everything else. Get a loan from Choice Pawn in Fulton and Tupelo. Get cash today. ChoicePawn.com.
No changes made there for Northeast, as you heard the chop playing in the background. ICC leading this one 2-1 with runners on second and third and no outs here in the bottom of the fifth inning, trying to extend this lead, and this is Drew Thomas at the plate, who is 0 for 2. Thomas takes a look at that first pitch. High for a ball. Now there is action brewing in the bullpen now for the Tigers. Indians would love to get that merry-go-round spinning here in the bottom of the fifth to pick up some of those insurance runs. Curveball that hangs up. Saw Krista kind of look at his hand. So he didn't like how that one released that time, almost as if he lost the release on it. So 2-0 is the count here to Drew Thomas, the DH. Thomas, just could not quite time up that breaking pitch. 2-1 now is the count. Two balls, one strike, no outs. Runners on second and third after a very heads-up play by LeBryant Sedale. He saw that they were going to try to throw it home after the runner took a big turn at third. He never checked up. He turned that quickly to second. I've got it ruled as a single advance on the throw, and this pitch has popped up, a shallow fly ball out to right field. Right fielder's going to come in, shade it, and they're going to try to score the run, and they will. A sacrifice fly off the bat of Drew Thomas, and the Indians go up 3-1. That sacrifice fly being brought to you by the ICC Baptist Student Union. They remind you of the ultimate sacrifice paid for our sins. That's the ICC BSU. They meet Monday nights at 7:07, Wednesdays at lunch. All they ask is bring $2 and a friend. That's the ICC BSU. And, of course, that also was an insurance run being brought to you by your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox. And now this will be Justin Medlin, the first baseman for the Indians. Smart play by the Tigers to throw that one to third instead of trying to throw it home. That kept Sedale at second. And so now with one out and that pitch going for a ball, this is Medlin, who is 0 for 2 on the afternoon, looking to redeem himself here with a base hit. Something down to the gap could score Sedale. Oh, nice off-speed pitch that time by Krista. Way ahead of that one was Justin Medlin. So 1-1 now is the count here to Medlin. Medlin couldn't quite find that inside fastball. Goes for a strike. Not sure who Delta is playing, but they won in walk-off action 12-11 in the bottom of the ninth. We'll try to find that score there. That pitch outside corner. Nice job trying to frame it that time by Childers. That's Meridian. So Delta rallied to knock off Meridian as Meridian cruised to a pretty healthy lead there. It's a walk-off double for Meridian to win that one. That pitch drifting outside for a ball. 3-2 now is the count here on Medlin. We'll try to update standings in between games to see where the Indians improve to or fall to pending the outcome of this one. 3-1 is your score right now. 3-2 is the count. Runner at second, and Justin Medlin is at the plate. He calls time. So we're awaiting the 3-2 offering here from Krista to Medlin. Medlin fouls this one back. And we'll stay at 3-2. That foul ball right over the top of us here in the ICC Foundation broadcast booth. Remind you can find out more information on how you can contribute to Itawamba Community College through the ICC Foundation by visiting iccms.edu. That's iccms.edu. 3-2 is the count. One out and a runner on second here for the Indians. Medlin at the plate, trying to find a way to win the battle here, looking for his first hit of the day. And he ropes one. This one deep to right field over the head of the right fielder. See ya later. A two-run home run by Justin Medlin. Well, that one was on a rope there, and that was a big-time hit there. The Indians now go up 5-1. And let's take a look at that on the Little Caesars instant replay. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call a no-doubter. Halfway up the Shrewsbury's trees out there. As you take a look down the Little Caesars instant replay there. And a two-run home run, third run of the inning, and ICC leads it 5-1. That looks like that's going to do it here for Jake Christo. So we'll have a choice pawn pitching change coming up here for the Tigers. ICC leads it 5-1. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com and FM 95 Sports.
Need money now? Get a Choice Pawn loan on things you already own, like guns, boats, campers, trailers, recreational vehicles, and just about everything else. Get a loan from Choice Pawn in Fulton and Tupelo. Get cash today. ChoicePawn.com.
Helen, don't you know Little Caesars has the extra most bestest for $6?
$6? I gotta sit down.
Yeah, it has the most cheese and pepperoni for the nation's best price.
Most cheese and most pepperoni? I gotta sit all the way down.
Get the most cheese and most pepperoni for the nation's best price. Little Caesars large $6 extra most bestest.
Pizza, pizza.
At Food Giant, serving you is our #1 priority. We offer the freshest produce, highest quality meats, tasty baked goods, and the best meats and cheeses in our deli department. Check out this week's specials.
Folgers Classic Roast Ground Coffee, $5.98. Bush's Best Baked or Grill and Beans, 2 for $3. And Sunny D Citrus Punch, 64-ounce, tangy orange or smooth punch, $1.
At Food Giant, you'll always find a staff member eager to help you find exactly what you need. Freshness, variety, value. Shop Food Giant today with several locations in North Mississippi.
Need money now? Get a Choice Pawn loan on things you already own, like guns, boats, campers, trailers, recreational vehicles, and just about everything else. Get a loan from Choice Pawn in Fulton and Tupelo. Get cash today. ChoicePawn.com.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the Choice Pawn pitching change. This brings Elijah Potts to the hill here for the Tigers. Elijah is 1-0 on the year. He's pitched 7 2/3 innings. He's given up 9 hits, 10 runs, 9 of those earned. He does have 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. He has a 10.57 ERA on the year. Jake Christa is knocked off the hill after a 2-run home run by Justin Medlin to give the Indians a 5-1 lead. And it's going to be Hunter Neighbors who will welcome Elijah Potts to the contest here.
Now batting the catcher,
ICC got a sacrifice fly by Drew Thomas to score Krieger, who doubled to start the inning. And then it was that two-run home run by Medlin to give the Indians a 5-1 lead, and that was Medlin's second home run of the season, as it was on a rope out there to right field. And now the Indians trying to build on this 5-1 lead. And a slow roller to the third baseman, and he's going to err. Neighbors will sneak its way on there, as I believe they're going to charge at an error. Yes, it will.
Now batting the right fielder, number 30, Drake Wallace.
And now this will be Drake Wallace. Wallace got it going for the Indians back in the fourth inning. He hit a RBI triple to score Neighbors to tie the ball game at 1. Then he scored on a single by Jackson Lancaster to put the Indians up 2-1. And this is going to be swinging on the first pitch he sees. Fly ball out to center field. Center fielder will jog over and squeeze it for the putout. Try to throw it over to first, as Neighbors kind of jogging back that time. Wallace swinging on the first pitch he sees. Couldn't quite get it to knife down quick enough.
Number 10, Jackson Lancaster.
And that is going to be the second out of the inning now, and this is going to be Jackson Lancaster. Lancaster will come to the plate. 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI single. He has struck out looking to end the second, trying to extend the inning here. As that pitch in the dirt blocked up nicely that time. Neighbors unable to advance. And 1-0 is the count. 2 outs. We're going to switch up baseball here. So 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th, ICC leading 5-1. Lancaster swings on the pitch, fouls it off. Out of play. And 1-1 now goes the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, and a runner over at first. That is Neighbors, who reaches for the 3rd time today. He reached on an error. That pitch missing outside. 2-1 now goes the count. So waiting the 2-1 offering here to Lancaster. Curveball. Knifes this one out to left field. Left fielder dancing around, but finds it. No, he dropped it. And now there's going to be some confusion, and the Tigers will get out of the inning after applying the tag, as Coach Collier was trying to get Neighbors to go back. And Neighbors went back to second, was heading back to first, saw that there was a runner at first, and then tried to retreat back to second, only to be tagged out to end the inning there. So tough way to end it there for the Indians.
1 error.
As there were 3 runs on 3 hits, 2 errors, and 1 left on base. As ICC leads it 5-1. We've played 5. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
This broadcast on Let'sGoICCTV.com is presented by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Food Giant, the Sonic of Fulton, your Etowah County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, the ICC BSU, Bank of Okolona, Legend Sports Grill, the ICC Wesley Foundation, Choice Palm, Kegel Eye Center, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the ICC Alumni Association, and the ICC Foundation.
Sonic Nights is the highlight of the summer.
Oh, yeah. There's probably some pretty big names here checking out these half-price floats.
Oh, everyone who's anyone is here tonight. Look, there are those 2 guys.
What are they famous for?
Huh. I think for eating here all the time.
Are we good at eating here or what?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, come on.
For a limited time, get real ice cream slushes, shakes, and floats half price after 8 p.m. during Sonic Nights. This is how you Sonic.
Leading off for the Tigers, number 2, Thomas Stevens.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as ICC taking a 5-1 lead after a 3-run bottom of the 5th inning, highlighted by a 2-run home run by Justin Medlin. It'll be the 5, 6, 7 batters due up here for the Tigers, and that's going to be a ground ball. Third baseman Russell Bunch gets it, tosses it over for the putout. 5-3 to retired Stevens. He's 0 for 3 on the day with a pair of strikeouts. And now up will be Caleb Todd.
Caleb Todd.
Todd is playing in center field. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He walked, was left stranded back in the third. Austin King still on the hill here for the Indians. Zips that one across for a strike. But now he can work a little bit looser now. Don't want to work too loose, though, as he does have a 4-run cushion. As that pitch, curveball, fouled off for strike 2. Oh, 2 is the count here to Caleb Todd. And, thought that was his 8th Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day, but the umpire said that one was just a little bit too up for his liking there. 1-2 now is the count. 1 out, nobody on for the Tigers in the top of the 6th. This game's scheduled for 9 innings. Grounder, third baseman gets it, throws it over, inside for the putout. 5-3 back-to-back putouts by the third baseman, Russell Bunch.
Number 10, Anthony Lipsy.
And now this will bring up Anthony Lipsy. Lipsy 0 for 1 with the walk. He did score the only run of the day, and that was on a throwing error back in the 2nd. Other than that, the Indians played pretty well so far, rallying since then. Pitch in the dirt, bounces away for ball 1. Tigers with 4 hits on the afternoon, 2 going for doubles. 10 hits for the Indians, 1 double, a triple, and a home run. So as a team, the Indians have hit for the cycle. Nothing impressive about that, as that curveball zips in there for a strike. 1-1 now is the count. We do want to thank everyone that has come out to the ballpark today, and a great, great crowd here supporting the Indians as well as the Tigers. That pitch missing low, 2-1 now is the count to Lipsy. Lipsy grounded out to third to end the third. Indians would like to see him do the same here. 2-1 offering from King. This pitch fouled back out of play, and 2-2 now is the count. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and nobody on here for the Tigers. King set to deliver. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Austin King gets the Renaissance Bank strikeout to get the 3-up, 3-down inning, and that is the 8th Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day for King. No runs, no hits, no errors.
No hits and no errors.
Nobody left on base. We'll move to the bottom of the 6th, where it'll be the 9-1-2 batters due up for the Indians. Bunch, Lewis, and Krieger. ICC leads it 5-1. We'll take a break and be back with more on FM 95 Sports. And let's go ICC TV right after this.
When I think of potential, I think of a matchstick. When a matchstick reaches its potential, it releases a flame that ignites everything around it. 2018 brings new potential for you and your life at Itawamba Community College, where you are each empowered to do great things. You can be better, accomplish more, and live a life that is above the bar. Your potential is here.
Gotta be hoops and wings.
Nah, subs.
Wings all day.
How about a sub?
Dude, wings.
Nah.
Really?
Gotta have ice cold Coke.
I'll drink to that. Now that's how it's done.
And welcome back now as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning. ICC with a 5-1 lead here over Northeast. We do want to welcome all those listening for our first ICC baseball broadcast of the year on FM 95 Sports. Miss Tina and Mr. Ed and company out there in Amory always doing a great job. Don't forget, they're also your home for Amory Panther Athletics here on FM 95 Sports. FM95radio.com. And this will be Russell Bunch at the plate to start things off here. Bunch 0 for 2 with a strikeout so far on the afternoon. Bunch takes a look at that pitch outside for a ball. Got a new left fielder in the game. This is going to be Carter Roach coming into the contest. That is a choice pawn position change. Liner down the third baseline, long throw, hop over, and 5-3 on the putout of Bunch to start the inning.
Now batting the shortstop, number 13, Conor Lewis.
So Roach is out there in left field. Almost disaster for the Tigers in the bottom of the fifth as a routine fly ball was actually dropped by the left fielder Braxton Miller, but they were able to get out of that jam after a little confusion on the base pass. That's a beautiful curveball by Potts across for a strike. This is back to the top of the lineup now in Conor Lewis, but to go back and finish that thought, a routine fly ball at the left field popped out of the glove of the left fielder as that curveball across for strike 2. But the Indians, Coach Collier was telling the runner to get back to second as he was jogging in thinking that was out number 3, was confused and trying to retreat back to first, got caught in a rundown. As that pitch in the dirt, 1-2 now is the count. Got caught in a rundown to end the inning. So a baseball final, we'll give it to you coming up next. A line drive, and it's going to be a foul ball, just foul, off the bat of Lewis down that first base line. Game 1 final, Jones County defeats Southwest 13-1. That's in baseball. So Jones goes to 7-4 in conference play. Southwest falls to 4-7. So 1-2 is the count here on Lewis. 1 out and nobody on here in the bottom of the 6th. Lewis fouls that one off, keeps that bat alive here. Trying to scroll through Twitter, remind you that you can follow us on Twitter at Let's Go ICC for updates if you're away from your computer or if there's any schedule changes. Is that pitch in the dirt for a ball? 2-2 now is the count. That's at Let's Go ICC on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram. 2-2 is the count here to Conor Lewis. Lewis is 1 for 3 on the afternoon with a single, a strikeout, and a fly ball to right. Pops this one up. Center fielder is going to have a long way to go for it. Right fielder calling him off, but the center fielder comes over and makes the play, probably the best play there for the Tigers, as the right fielder was looking back into the sun and was trying to shade it. Don't know if he really found it.
Number 15, Kyle Krieger.
As that's going to be out number 2, and then it's going to be Kyle Krieger coming to the plate. Krieger doubled, scored a run in his last at bat. He does have a single and a fly ball to right. That pitch missing for a ball. Krieger playing second base this afternoon. 1-0 is the count. 2 outs and nobody on here for the Indians. Oh, nice location on that fastball as Krieger took a healthy chop at that inside heat, just could not find it. 1-1 now is the count. And this one's going to be a jam job. Left fielder drifts back, now comes up and squeezes it for the out. So a 3-up, 3-down inning there. Indians go quietly in the bottom of the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. ICC leads it 5-1 as we get set to head to the top of the 7th inning. Game 1 between ICC and Northeast. So we'll take a break and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
What if Mississippi's community and junior colleges didn't exist? You'd see a much different Mississippi, one without these degrees. And the jobs that come from them. One where many would fail to get a higher education because affordable community and junior college is their only hope. We're in danger of this happening thanks to state budget cuts. In fact, Mississippi once ranked number 1 in America's community and junior college systems. Number 1. But now has slipped out of the top 10, way out, which is already a consequence of budget cuts. So, what if community and junior colleges didn't exist? If budget cuts continue, we may well find out. Contact your legislator and tell them to support Mississippi's community and junior colleges.
And welcome back to action, ladies and gentlemen. As
the Tigers, number
this will
5,
be Carter Roach, the new left fielder coming into bat for the Tigers. So let's take a look at some Sonic stats here on Roach. He is batting 105 on the year, 261. On base percentage, takes that first pitch for a strike. And he has a 105 ERA. Indians lead at 5-1 here in the top of the 7th. Breaking pitch, missing in the dirt for a ball. 1-1 now is the count. So we'll update some standings and some scores throughout this inning here. We do have some final scores. There's going to be a hard hit. Line drive, and it's going to get out to left field. So nicely done by Roach, taking his first at bat and his first opportunity. That improved that 105 batting average, as that was his third hit of the season,
third baseman, number 13,
as he leads the inning off with a single out to left past a diving shortstop. Final scores in baseball: Jones, as we said, defeated Southwest 13-1. It was East Mississippi taking care of Holmes by the final score of 12-0. And then it was Delta with a walk-off in the bottom of the 9th. They win 12-11. Now that was a big-time play there, or a big-time win for the Indians, as Meridian falls to 7-4 inside conference play. If ICC can find a way to take care of business this afternoon, they can jump up into that number 3 spot. Of course, we'll try to see where East Central ends up at the end of the day. They're playing Pearl River, and they were leading game 1 earlier. Other standings: Southwest falls to 4-7 in conference play. East Mississippi improves to 3-6. Delta improves to 3-6, and Holmes falls to 1-10. That's a Bank of Okolona scoreboard update and standings update so far here. As there's a curveball across for a strike, as this is Connor Boyer. Boyer is 1 for 2 with a single. He was left stranded in scoring position back in the 2nd. He's also struck out. So 0-1 is the count. Curveball. Thought about that snap throw back down to first. No throw as Miller dives back quickly and safely. That pitch, wow. Hasn't called a low strike all day and calls one there. And 1-2 now is the count. Had to chase one that time, as looks like King kind of lost his balance on the hill. That one fouled off. We'll stay at 1-2. No outs. Runner at first is Roach, who singled in the first at bat. Little CNI single. Got out to left field. Remind everybody of the newest sponsor, one of the two newest sponsors here in ICC Athletics. That's Legend Sports Grill. We'll wait this 1-2 pitch. Fouled off, and we'll stay at 1-2. Legend Sports Grill, located not far from us here in the ICC Foundation broadcast booth, almost directly behind us at an angle, located across the old Artesian Restaurant. Basically come like you're coming to the baseball field, and you'll be able to go down a little bit. It's next to Davis Ford here in Fulton. Snap throw over to first, not in time. Got the coldest drinks in Itawamba County, some of the best food prices that you can ask for. Of course, their starters are $5 up until 5 o'clock. Anything after 5 o'clock, then they move up to $6. Curveball, it's a beauty, but called a ball. Wow, maybe a makeup call for that one. He called low earlier. 2-2 now is the count. They've got pool tournaments, snooker tournaments as well, just go by and see the fine folks there at Legend Sports Grill. They're swinging strike 3. Take a look at that on the Little Caesars instant replay. That is the 9th Renaissance Bank strikeout of the game.
Now batting the shortstop.
And we go back to the top of the lineup now. And this is going to be Parker Haberstroh. He is 1 for 2 on the day with a walk, a single left stranded in the second. Good looking pitch there, called a ball. So 1-0 pitch coming. Grounder up the middle. Lewis gets it, will step on the bag and try to turn 2, but instead airmails it. And so that'll be a fielder's choice for Haberstroh. No error on the play. Well, that could have been big there, though, if the Indians could have found a way to get that Little Caesars double play to end the inning, grab a little bit of momentum heading to the bottom of the 7th. But instead, it's a fielder's choice that put Haberstroh on. And now with 2 outs in the inning, after Roach is retired on that fielder's choice, this will be Jacob Wilshire coming to the plate. He is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Hit into that Little Caesars double play to back in the first. Swinging strike. He also grounded out to third to end the second, struck out to start the 5th. 9 Renaissance Bank strikeouts on the day for Austin King. Ground ball, third baseman jammed him a little bit, finds it though, throws over in time for the putout. Nice play over at third by Russell Bunch. The ball took a funny hop on him, put his glove down, said, look what I found, tossed it over to first to let Justin Medlin see what he found, and that ended the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We'll move to the bottom of the 7th inning. ICC leads it 5-1. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
Did you know your child's eyes can be checked as young as 6 months of age? They do not have to know their letters or even be able to talk in order to receive a comprehensive eye exam. Your eye doctor can tell you many things just by looking at them. I'm Dr. Laurie Cagle of Cagle Eye Center in Fulton. We offer comprehensive eye exams to provide proper diagnosis and treatment of various eye diseases. Browse our large selection of frames available in prescription and non-prescription. Call to schedule your eye appointment today at Cagle Eye Center in Fulton.
This broadcast on Let'sGoICCTV.com is presented by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Food Giant, the Sonic of Fulton, your Etowah County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, the ICC BSU, Bank of Okolona, Legend Sports Grill, the ICC Wesley Foundation, Choice Palm, Cagle Eye Center, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the ICC Alumni Association, and the ICC Foundation.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 5-1 is your score here. ICC with the lead. As we get set for the bottom of the 7th inning, it'll be Sedale, Thomas, and Medlin due up for the Indians.
Leading off for the Indians, number 18, LaBryant Sedale.
Sedale is 2 for 3 on the afternoon. He has a single, a double, has scored a run, was left stranded in scoring position back in the first. Takes a look at a curveball across for a strike. This is Elijah Potts on the hill here. And that's going to be a slow roller, but foul. 0-2 now is the count. As Sedale will step out and reset. Awaiting the 0-2 offering here. Fastball outside up, though. 1-2 is the count. And swinging strike 3. Good job on that inside pitch there. Sedale jammed up, couldn't find a piece of it. And that's the first Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day for Potts.
Now batting for the Indians, number 6, Drew Thomas.
This will be Thomas at the plate. Takes a look at that first pitch. A little up and out that time for the umpire's liking. He's got a pretty tight strike zone, but he's been consistent. This afternoon for both teams is a curveball that just didn't quite curve enough, and it actually nearly hit Drew Thomas. Drew, in his last at bat, had a sacrifice out to right field that scored Krieger to tie the ball game, and that one hit him. So Thomas will trot down to first. And this will be Justin Medlin coming to the plate. Medlin had a 2-run shot. Actually, I take that back. That run, that sacrifice he had, actually gave the Indians a 3-1 lead, and it was his 2-run shot to put the Indians up 5-1. That was back in the 5th, and that was Medlin's second home run of the year. That pitch, wow. A little low and outside, but called a strike. You heard a few of the Boo Birds break out here at Crescent Field on that call. Runner at first, that's Thomas. There's 1 out. And Medlin fouls this one back and out of play. 0-2 goes the count. Dalton Middleton here covering today's games for the Daily Journal. You can read about that tomorrow. I understand Jim Holder was here earlier today for WTVA. You can see highlights of that tonight at 6 and 10. Medlin reaches out, grounder to the shortstop. Tries to go to second, then he throws it away. The runner will not be able to advance, so that's going to be a fielder's choice E6 on the play. 3rd error of the ball game for the Tigers.
Now batting the catcher, number 19, Hunter Neighbors.
And this will bring Hunter Neighbors to the plate. Neighbors is 2 for 3. He did reach on an error, was eventually caught in a rundown to end the 5th. He does have a pair of singles and a run scored. Would like to pick up some more of those insurance runs here in the bottom of the 7th ICC. With a 5-1 advantage, runners on first and second with only 1 out. Curveball, and this is a beauty at the knees for a strike. So 0-1 is the count. Runners at first and second. Potts will step away and now will readdress the rubber. And a little jam job, but it's going to sneak its way through. They're going to ask the runner to try to score. The throw home is not in time. Well, a little excuse me swing there by Neighbors. And I'll tell you what, when you're hot, you're hot. And that one found its way through, was shallow, and then the throw was up the line, allowing the run to score. And the Indians do add that insurance run to take a 6-1 lead. And that insurance run being brought to you by your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox. For all your insurance needs, whether it be home, auto, or life, stop by and see Joey there on South Adams Street. And now up is going to be Drake Wallace. Wallace tripled off the upper part of the wall back in the 4th to tie the ball game. Takes a look at that breaking pitch, low for a ball. He eventually came around to score on a single by Jackson Lancaster to give the Indians the 2-1 lead, and now the Indians lead it 6-1 here in the bottom of the 7th. Snap throw to second, gets away. Runner will head to third, and the runner will go from first to third, and the ball gets away again. And this will be another run scored for the Indians. Well, a very peculiar play there. As we're going to look at it on the Little Caesars Instant Replay, you see the pickoff move gets away. So that's an error. And then the throw, the ball gets away from the second baseman, and that's going to allow the runner to score there. I don't know if that might be 2 errors on the play. We'll double check that final line at the end of the day. Don't know how you score that one, to be honest. I will refer down to Blake to double check. As this pitch foul back by Drake Wallace. Well, now the Indians can almost start thinking about run rule here in the 7th. I think it's 8 after 7. They changed that rule from one year to the next, so I'm not really for certain how that works in baseball. Curveball missing low. Two-one is the count here, 1 out. Runner is at second. As that pitch across for a strike. So it was only 1 error on that play. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Wallace pops this one up. Pitcher trying to chase after it, but it's going to get out of play, and we'll stay at 2-2. So officially that was, and scoring on the error was Medlin after the ball. He just missed the catch, and it got away from him. That's what I was thinking. That's what Blake Long, the SID at Northeast, says. Of course, Blake does an outstanding job for the Northeast faithful. As ground ball, third baseman gets it, looks the runner back to second, throws over in time to get Wallace 5-3 on the putout. And now with 2 outs, this is going to be Lancaster coming to the plate. Lancaster reached on an error
Jackson Lancaster.
when the 5th inning was ended. He does have an RBI single. He struck out to end the 2nd. Struck out looking there. So 2 outs. Runner on second, ICC with a 7-1 lead. Lancaster, ground ball, second baseman, finds it, tosses it over. Oh, a little bit of an adventure there on that final out, but score it 4-3 after a nice stretch over there at first base by Tyler Samaniego. So ICC adds 2 more runs in the bottom of the 7th. They lead at 7-1. We'll take a break and move to the top of the 8th here in Game 1 between ICC and Northeast. You're listening to ICC Baseball on FM 95 Sports and watching it right here on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
Today, you are connected more than ever. Your friends, your family, your life. Having a partner that understands banking is what you do on your time, anywhere you like. It's about being connected, which is easy with convenient locations in your community. Understanding that sometimes you need to speak to real people with real answers. Banking partners with the services you desire, who understand how you want to bank. Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
I could get the extra most bestest with the most cheese and the most pepperoni for $6. Or I could get a pizza with less toppings for more money.
Get the most cheese and most pepperoni for the nation's best price. Little Caesars large $6 extra most bestest.
Pizza.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set here for the top of the 8th inning. For those that may be just now joining us for the first time this season on FM 95 Sports, the rules are in Game 1, you go 9 innings. Game 2, you go 7 inside conference play. The run rules look like this, and it's 10 after 5 and 8 after 7 in Game 1. As Blake Long double confirming that, I did want to make sure that Kevin Maloney didn't lie to me about the run rule.
Leading off for the Tigers, number 7, Tucker Childers.
And so to be Childers, Samaniego, and Stevens due up here for the Tigers in the top of the 8th. Swing on the first pitch he sees, and a foul ball. If they're going to call that hit earlier on Drew Thomas a foul ball, then that one for sure had to be a foul ball. And they did call it a foul. So nothing but a close strike that time on Childers. Childers did double, similar hit he doubled on earlier as he just ripped one down the third baseline. Chased its way into the corner. It was a big-time play before that, though, on a Little Caesars double play that cut down a run, got the Indians out of that inning with no damage done. Austin King still on the hill here for the Indians. ICC does have somebody getting loose just in case they're needed here. So 1-1 is the count. Fastball coming, this one drilled. Center fielder goes over, makes the play though. You almost need to set up something called the Jackson Lancaster cam, as he typically makes plays that you just do not think he could make. And he makes an impressive long running catch look easy that time for out number 1. Much like Tanner Poole, who now plays at Mississippi State, he's got very, very impressive speed. And he exhibited it there for out number 1. Oh, could not catch up with the curveball that time. Samaniego, who struck out swinging to end the 5th, behind the count now 0-2. He does have a double and a walk to his credit this afternoon. That pitch, fastball high and outside for a ball. So yeah, apparently the new rule was adopted by the National Committee this year after 7 innings. Is new this year. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Got him whiffing at a ball in the dirt. The tag was applied for out number 2. That is the 10th Renaissance Bank strikeout of the game for Austin King. And now with 2 outs, this will be Thomas Stevens coming to the plate. 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts, 1 looking, 1 swinging. And he has grounded out to third to start the 6th. Takes a look at that fastball across for a strike. King seems to be in a groove here. 0-1 pitch coming. Breaking pitch. Couldn't get him to chase one. So now the count evens up at 1-1. Remind you to stay tuned. We'll have the Renaissance Bank post-game report coming your way. We'll take a look at some Sonic stats and have our legend of the game being brought to you by Legends Sports Grill. And then the throw, but the stretch is not there. And the runner will head over to second. And so
now batting the center fielder, number 6, Caleb Todd.
That'll bring up Todd to the plate. We're going to call that a hit. Tough play by the first baseman. And Coach Collier coming out to talk to King here. Make sure he's still got a little bit of gas left in the tank. Would love to see him be able to go the distance here and keep some of those arms ready for later this week when ICC is scheduled to host Jones County. But instead, it looks like we are going to have a choice pond pitching change here. So we're going to take a break, come back, and let you know who the new pitcher is for the Indians. As that's going to do it for Austin King. A great game pitched by King today. ICC leads at 7-1. Back with more right after this.
Need money now? Get a Choice Pawn loan on things you already own, like guns, boats, campers, trailers, recreational vehicles, and just about everything else. Get a loan from Choice Pawn in Fulton and Tupelo. Get cash today. ChoicePawn.com.
And Austin King leaving to a round of applause, rightly so, as he exits and is going to be replaced here by Hunter Hughes. Take a look at some Sonic stats here on Hunter Hughes as he takes some warm-up tosses. Hunter is 1-0 in the year. He's pitched 17 innings, given up 17 hits, 11 runs, 8 of those earned. He has walked 7, struck out 16, has a 4.24 ERA. Well, we can't quite close the book on Austin King just yet, as Thomas Stevens still belongs to him over there at first base. We'll take a break and hear a few words from our sponsors and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
This broadcast on Let'sGoICCTV.com is presented by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Food Giant, the Sonic of Fulton, your Etowah County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, the ICC BSU, Bank of Okolona, Legend Sports Grill, the ICC Wesley Foundation, Choice Palm, Kegel Eye Center, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the ICC Alumni Association, and the ICC Foundation.
And welcome back to action. As we go back, we do want to make a correction for those of you that may be scoring at home. They're going to go back and call that an error, a 2-out error that Thomas Stevens reaches on. Error on the first baseman. So Hunter Hughes will dig in. His first pitch at the knees, called a ball. This is Hunter Hughes, also known as Peanut, on the mound. There's a ground ball to the shortstop, gets it, throws it over in time to end the inning. So 2 pitches, and Hunter Hughes does his job, gets the Indians out of the jams, and that closes the book on the afternoon for Austin King and ends the inning there. So Austin King goes 7 2/3 inning, gives up 1 run. It was unearned on 5 hits. 5 hits, and he had 4 walks to go along with 10 Renaissance Bank strikeouts on the day. New pitcher on the hill here for the Tigers. We'll tell you who that is when we come back right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
Today, you are connected more than ever. Your friends, your family, your life. Having a partner that understands banking is what you do on your time, anywhere you like. It's about being connected, which is easy with convenient locations in your community. Understanding that sometimes you need to speak to real people with real answers. Banking partners with the services you desire, who understand how you want to bank. Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
Need money now? Get a Choice Pawn loan on things you already own, like guns, boats, campers, trailers, recreational vehicles, and just about everything else. Get a loan from Choice Pawn in Fulton and Tupelo. Get cash today. ChoicePawn.com.
At Food Giant, serving you is our #1 priority. We offer the freshest produce, highest quality meats, tasty baked goods, and the best meats and cheeses in our deli department. Check out this week's specials.
Folgers Classic Roast Ground Coffee, $5.98. Bush's Best Baked or Grill and Beans, 2 for $3. And Sunny D Citrus Punch, 64 ounce. Tangy Orange or Smooth Punch, $1.
At Food Giant, you'll always find a staff member eager to help you find exactly what you need. Freshness, variety, value. Shop Food Giant today with several locations in North Mississippi.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we do have that new pitcher in here. That's going to be number 8 coming in to pitch. And that's going to be Ty James, a freshman making his 6th appearance of the year. He's 2-0. He's pitched 6 2/3 innings, given up 9 hits, 4 runs, all 4 of those earned. He's walked 5, struck out 6, has a 5.40 ERA. Russell Bunch will get that one down, and he's going to go over for a double. They're going to call time and give him second base. Not able to see that. And I believe that's going to be a hit for sure for Bunch.
Now batting the shortstop, number 13.
That was a tough play over at third. So that'll be a double for Russell Bunch, his first of the day, and now it'll be Conor Lewis coming to the plate. Indians lead at 7-1. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll look the runner back to second. So the Indians, if they can get 2 runs on the board here in the bottom of the 8th, that'll be ball game, as the new NJCAA national rule that was adopted this offseason. 8 after 7 in 9-inning games is the run rule. Lewis was stepping out. The umpire did not give him time. Then the the pitcher stepped off the rubber. So it was just an awkward set there. Shows bunt. Misses, or actually fouls it back, he said. That one goes for a strike. Well, the home plate umpire was going to do the right thing, as he was going to walk the ball out there to the pitcher, but the catcher said he was good, because sometimes when you're a catcher and a foul ball pops back like that, well, unfortunate things happen, and luckily it didn't happen that time. So 0-1 is the count here to Conor Lewis. He is 1 for 4 on the day with a single and a strikeout. He's flown out to right and center. Ground ball, third baseman has it, drops it, looks the runner back to second, throw over, gets away. And that's going to allow the runner to get to third. And another error, I believe, there on the Tigers. As he dropped the ball, had plenty of time, the throw was in the dirt.
Now batting the second baseman, number 15, Kyle Krieger.
And now this will be Krieger coming to the plate. Runners on the corners with no outs. Bottom of the 8th inning. ICC leading 7-1 here over Northeast. Game 1 of 2 this afternoon. Game 1 only here on FM 95 Sports. Game 2 exclusively on Let'sGoICCTV.com, the red channel. Krieger looks at that pitch inside for a ball. So the game-ending run is over at first base for the Indians. Krieger 2 for 4 with a single and a double. And that one might do it, folks. Deep fly ball to left field, back to the wall. No, a great catch. Thought that one was going to drop. And then the throw over to first is in time. Well, a smart play by the Tigers, as I thought actually that one was going to be out of the ballpark, turned into a sacrifice fly for Krieger that turned into a Little Caesars double play, 7-6-3. But it does score Russell Bunch, so it was an RBI. But a double play, as that's a Little Caesars double play, one of the most unique double plays you will ever see in baseball. Sedale is at the plate now with 2 outs. 8-1 is the lead for the Indians after that sacrifice fly by Krieger scored Bunch, who doubled and advanced to third on the error. That pitch hangs up high. 2-0 now is the count here to LeBryant Sedale. Sedale is 2 for 4 on the day. He has a double, a single, and a run scored. He also reached on a fielder's choice, and he did strike out to start the 7th inning. That pitch missing. 3-0 now is the count. Three balls, no strikes, 2 outs. ICC leading 8-1 here. And that pitch across for a strike. Sedale taking the whole way that time. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. ICC in Northeast. First time since 2016 that ICC has hosted the Tigers. And they call that one a strike. Wow, that one looked low at the knees, but taking the whole way that time as well. 3-2 now is the count here on LeBryant Sedale. Indians have not fared well over the last 6 meetings. Only two wins. 2-4. The Indians trying to get back on the good side of things. Sedale checks his swing. They're going to say he did not go, and that'll be ball 4. And now that'll bring up Drew Thomas. Thomas was hit by a pitch, had a sacrifice fly, grounded out to third after what looked to be a 2-run double down the line back in the third. He's also grounded out to second. So Thomas will dig in here. 8-1 is your score, 2 outs. The game-ending run is at first. And he's hit by a pitch again, so Drew Thomas wears back-to-back pitches now, and the game-ending run moves into scoring position for Justin Medlin. So you call it a free pass, but not really when you actually get hit by a pitch.
Now batting the first baseman, number 11, Justin Medlin.
And this will be Justin Medlin. Medlin had a 2-run home run back in the 5th. He reached on an error, scored in the 7th. He's also popped up in foul territory and has popped up to the second baseman. So the Indians looking for a way to get Sedale home to end this one early. And a fly ball out to the center field. Center fielder chases up, then tracks back and squeezes it for out number 3. And that will do it. So the Indians get 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 left on base. They lead it 8-1 after 8 complete. So the Indians 3 outs away from picking up the Game 1 win here over the Tigers of Northeast. We'll take a break and hear a few words from our sponsors and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com.
This broadcast on Let'sGoICCTV.com is presented by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Food Giant, the Sonic of Fulton, your Etowah County Farm Bureau agent Joey Cox, the ICC BSU, Bank of Okolona, Legend Sports Grill, the ICC Wesley Foundation, Choice Palm, Kegel Eye Center, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the ICC Alumni Association, and the ICC Foundation.
Sonic Nights is the highlight of the summer.
Oh, yeah. There's probably some pretty big names here checking out these half-price floats.
Oh, everyone who's anyone is here tonight. Look, there are those 2 guys.
What are they famous for?
Huh. I think for eating here all the time.
Are we good at eating here or what?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, come on.
For limited time, get real ice cream slushes, shakes, and floats half price after 8 p.m. during Sonic Nights. This is how you Sonic.
Off for the Tigers, number 10, Anthony Lipsy.
And welcome back as we get set here for the top of the 9th inning. ICC 3 outs away from picking up this Game 1 win over the Tigers. As it'll be Lipsy, Roach, and Boyer due up here for the Tigers in the top of the 9th. ICC leading 8-1. This is Hunter Hughes on the mound. His first pitch, a fastball across for a strike. Lipsy 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout to end the 6th, a ground out to third. And he's going to just get a little seeing eye single out to left field there to start the inning. Went with the pitch, put it where they ain't that time, and that is going to be his first hit of the day. And now this is going to be Roach coming to the plate. He singled his last time up.
For the Tigers, number 5, Carter Roach.
Was erased on a fielder's choice. So now the Tigers trying to mount a rally here in the top of the 9th. They trail 8-1. No outs and a runner on first. That's Lipsy. That pitch across for a strike. Great crowd out this afternoon. If you're listening around in your car, come on down to Fulton. You can make it in enough time for the start of Game 2 between ICC and Northeast. Foul ball out of play. 0-2 now is the count here on Roach. Only $5 to get in. We had the first 50 students here at ICC to come into the ballpark. Got a free Beat Any t-shirt. Those went over great amongst the crowd. And there's a swinging strike 3. Another Renaissance Bank strikeout.
Now
the first of the day
number 13,
for Hughes. A beautiful just slider that dipped right in there for a strike. Couldn't find it as he was way ahead of that pitch. And now with 1 out and a runner on first, this will be Boyer. Boyer fouls this one off for strike 1. But you hear the crowd kind of murmuring below us. It's been a chilly day, but a nice day. Temperatures will continue to drop as we get deeper into the evening. Curveball, missing. 1-1 now is the count. One ball, one strike, one out. This pitch popped up, and it's going to get out of play. We'll head towards the parking lot, and I tell you what, there's a lot of cars over there. It hopped on the backside of a sedan and hopped over the top of it and safely fell out in the parking lot, so no damage done there. 1-2 now is the count with one out and a runner on first. Curveball just missing outside. 2-2 now is the count. If you're an ICC fan, you're like, come on, Blue, give us that one. If you're a Tigers fan, you say thank you for not calling that a strike. Jammed him, fouls it back. 2-2 stays the count on Boyer. Boyer, then Parker Haberstroth is up next as we go back to the top of the lineup for the Tigers. That is, if the Indians don't turn a Little Caesars double play. Fly ball out to left field. LeBryant Siddell will camp underneath it and squeeze it for the putout. Out number 2. Well, a healthy pop on the bat. Now back in the
shortstop,
BB Core days, that one would have been out of the ballpark without a doubt. The sweet spot of the bat back in the day was about the entire bat. So all you had to do was swing it pretty hard and it was going to get out of the ballpark. So 2 outs now. Runner at first, and this is going to be Haberstraw at the plate for the Tigers. Takes a look at that first pitch. Oh, apparently 2 up for the umpire's liking. Called a ball. Haberstraw 1 for 3 on the day with a single and a walk. He was left stranded over at first. Back in the second, was erased on a Little Caesars double play in the first. And grounded out to the first baseman on a nice play by Austin King, getting over to cover first in the fourth. Reached on a fielder's choice in his previous at-bat. Takes a healthy swing at that one, comes up empty. Strike 2. So the Indians a strike away from ending this one here in game 1. They lead it 8-1 over the Tigers. 1-2 is the count with 2 outs and a runner on first for Northeast. That pitch up for a ball. So I set the table there for some high drama, and Hunter Hughes says, let's do it again. 2-2 now is the count. So awaiting the 2-2 offering here. Pitch coming. Grounder right back up the middle, and it's going to get through. It hopped off the bag at second, and a little CNI single right through the legs of the pitcher that time. And the Tigers will live to see another at-bat here. Second hit of the day for Haberstraw. And now this should bring up Jacob Wilshire, the DH.
Now batting for the Tigers, number 27, Jacob Wilshire.
And that will be the case there. So the runner was able to advance to second. The reason the ball got away the way it did, when it hopped off the mound, almost like a, for those old school Nintendo fans, it's sight bite move there, kind of leapt off the mound. It took a hard hop and actually hit the backside of second and ran away from a diving shortstop for a little single there. Second hit, as we said, of the day for Haberstraw. And now this will be Welcher, who takes that first pitch across for a strike. 0-1 is the count. 2 outs. ICC up 8-1 here in the top of the ninth. And this is going to be a flare out to right field. Drake Wallace charging in, and no, cannot make the play. Dropped it, so that will drop for a base hit on the diving effort, and the Tigers push across a run. Well, Wallace just could not quite get enough jets on it that time. And so the Tigers, this one ain't over yet, folks.
Tucker Childers.
2 outs. And usually when you get your rivals together, some crazy things can happen here. So ICC doesn't need to quite put it on cruise control just yet. As there's 2 outs in the inning, ICC working with a 6-run lead, 8-2 now. Runners on the corners. Childers pops this one a mile high. Wallace coming in, charging, and can't make it again. The second baseman let him have it. That was a long run. That should have been the second baseman's ball. Back-to-back hits. One dropped out of the glove of Wallace, and then that one just dropped short of Wallace. And the Indians just cannot close the door on this one.
Number 19, Tyler Samaniego.
I think that one kind of shifted a little bit, did not get as far back as the second baseman Krieger thought. Wallace put on a great effort. And there's going to be a liner. Second baseman blocks it up, tosses it over for the putout, and the Indians finally get out of the inning. Boy, not before that one got a little interesting there. ICC hangs on to win it by the final score of 8-3 here in Game 1. We'll take a break and come back with the Renaissance Bank postgame report right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com and FM 95 Sports. The Indians win it 8-3 here in Game 1 over the Tigers.
This broadcast on Let'sGoICCTV.com is presented by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Food Giant, the Sonic of Fulton, your Etowah County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, the ICC BSU, Bank of Okolona, Legend Sports Grill, the ICC Wesley Foundation, Choice Palm, Kegel Eye Center, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the ICC Alumni Association, and the ICC Foundation.
Sonic Nights is the highlight of the summer.
Oh, yeah. There's probably some pretty big names here checking out these half-price floats.
Oh, everyone who's anyone is here tonight. Look, there are those two guys.
What are they famous for?
Huh. I think for eating here all the time.
Are we good at eating here or what?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, come on.
For limited time, get real ice cream slushes, shakes, and floats half price after 8 p.m. during Sonic Nights. This is how you Sonic.
Sonic Nights is...
What's better than waiting in line at the bank? Literally everything. Renaissance Bank's mobile check deposit lets you take care of checks wherever you want. Click on Deposit Check in the Renaissance mobile app. Read and hit Continue on the bottom of the notice page. Sign it. Write your name, account number, and for mobile deposit only on the back. Photograph it, front and back, so we know it's real. Type in the amount. Choose the account to deposit into, click Continue, and go on your way. You'll receive an email that is being processed, but hold on to the hard copy until the check clears, and then rip it up and throw it away. So what are you waiting for? Download the Renaissance mobile banking app and make waiting in line a thing of the past. Check, phone, check. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
And welcome back to the Renaissance Bank post-game report. ICC wins Game 1 by the final score of 8-3. We'll take a look at some Little Caesars instant replays and look back at the Game 1 stats being presented by Sonic. Your final line here in Game 1, ICC scores 8 runs on 12 hits, and they committed 2 errors. The Tigers, they had 3 runs on 9 hits and 5 errors. ICC improves to 20-5, 6-3 in conference play. The Tigers fall to 14-12, 5-6 in conference play. Let's take a look at some batting stats here, and let's start with the Tigers. Haberstraw was 2 for 4 in the afternoon with a pair of doubles, or excuse me, a pair of singles and a run scored. He also walked. It was Jacob Wilshire. He was 1 for 5 on the day. He did have an RBI single, struck out swinging and hit into a double play. Tucker Childers, I should say, was 2 for 5. He had an RBI single and a double. He was left stranded in both those innings there. Tyler Samaniego was 1 for 4 with a walk, a double. He had 2 strikeouts. Thomas Stevens was 0 for 4 with a pair of strikeouts. He did reach on an error. Caleb Todd was 1 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. Anthony Lipsy on the day was 1 for 3 with a strikeout. A run scored, actually 2 runs scored, a single and a walk. He did score a run on an error, one of 2 errors on the day for the Indians. Braxton Miller was 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Roach was 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. Connor Boyer was 1 for 4 with a pair of strikeouts and a single. Those are your batting stats for the Tigers. For the Indians, it looks like this. Conor Lewis was 1 for 5 on the day with a single and a strikeout. He did reach on an error and was thrown out on a double play. Krieger was 2 for 4 with a single, a double, a run scored. He had a sacrifice fly and an RBI. LeBryant Siddell was 2 for 4. He reached on a fielder's choice, had a single and scored a run. He also doubled and walked. Drew Thomas was 0 for 2 on the day. He had a sacrifice fly for an RBI. He was hit by a pitch twice, scored one run. Justin Medlin, he was 1 for 5 on the day. It was a 2-run home run. He did reach on an error and scored 2 runs. Hunter Neighbors, he was 3 for 4. He reached on an error, so he reached actually all 4 times today. Had 3 singles, a run scored, and an RBI. Drake Wallace was 1 for 4 with a strikeout and an RBI triple and a run scored. Jackson Lancaster was 1 for 4 with a strikeout, an RBI single. He did reach on an error. And then Russell Bunch was 1 for 4 with a double, a run scored, and a strikeout. And our Sonic star of the game, let's go ahead and give that to our, actually we're going to change that now since we have an additional sponsor. Our Legend Sports Grill, legend of the game, is going to be Austin King. Austin King went 7 2/3 inning, gave up 1 run. It was unearned. He scattered 5 hits, walked 4, and had 10 Renaissance Bank strikeouts on the game. So that's Austin King, our legend of the game, being brought to you by Legend Sports Grill, located right near us here at Crescent Field, located right across from, well, actually next to Davis Ford. They've got pool tournaments each week. On the weekend, great food, the coldest drinks in Itawamba County. That's Legend Sports Grill right here in Fulton. So that's going to do it here for Game 1. ICC picks up an 8-3 win over the Tigers in the first game of the day. It'll be about 20 more minutes before we'll be back with Game 2 here. And it'll be on Let's Go ICC TV only. So we do want to say thank you for everyone that listened to our first radio broadcast of the day here on FM 95 Sports. Remember, when you're away from your radio, you can hear the hits of yesterday every day on FM95radio.com, the home from Amory Panther Athletics. As that's going to do it here for Game 1. Indians win it 8-3, trying to get the sweep of Northeast. It's been a minute since the Indians have swept. Actually, ever since they have switched to the the full state where they only play 2 games a year, the Indians have been swept but have never swept the Tigers. You have to go back to all the way to 2010, the last time the Indians swept the Tigers. And that was with 4 wins. So it's been a minute. The Indians trying to get their first sweep over the Tigers in quite a while. We're going to let you finish up watching the highlights here. That's going to do it for us on FM 95 Sports. Stay tuned. In about 15 minutes, we'll have the start of Game 2 right here on Let'sGoICCTV.com, the red channel. So those for listening on FM 95 Sports, thank you. We'll see you next time here on FM 95 Sports. Have a blessed evening, and as always, Roll Tribe.
This broadcast on Let'sGoICCTV.com is presented by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Food Giant, the Sonic of Fulton, your Etowah County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, the ICC BSU, Bank of Okolona, Legend Sports Grill, the ICC Wesley Foundation, Choice Palm, Cagle Eye Center, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the ICC Alumni Association, and the ICC Foundation.
When I think of potential, I think of a matchstick. When a matchstick reaches its potential, it releases a flame that ignites everything around it. 2018 brings new potential for you and your life at Itawamba Community College, where you are each empowered to do great things. You can be better, accomplish more, and live a life that is above the bar. Your potential is here.